everybody. Thank you so much for listening to the Cooligans. My name is Christian Polanco. That's Alexis Guerrero. It's World Cup. We're talking all World Cup this episode.
Nothing but World Cup. In the first segment, we talk about a bunch of World Cup. In the second segment, we do a cool interview. We got Jimmy Conrad and Mike LaBelle.
And in the third segment, we talk about more of those damn World Cup games because that's all you care about.
Plus, it's we got to talk about some really gully stuff, too. And maybe we were wrong. Maybe not. That and more on this episode of the Cooligans.
Hey, this is Alexi Lawless. There is nobody in U.S. soccer that is more important than the Cooligans.
Yeah, baby.
Yo!
Come on, it's World Cup time.
El Mundial.
Every day, multiple games. Some of them you want to see, some of them you don't.
No, I want to see every single one.
We are so busy. Why do people want us to do stuff during the time when we should be watching television?
I just want to watch soccer.
That's it.
I don't want to be talking about soccer. I don't want to be
We're
working.
guesting on other podcasts. We're shooting things. I don't want to shoot things.
Don't invite me to anything. Any bar mitzvah. Any bat mitzvah.
If any band mitzvah. If my mother was getting married, I'd be like, yo, change the date. Or Skype me in, okay? I can't go.
Yeah, it is. It's look. I think this is definitely the first World Cup that I've also been doing a soccer podcast at the same time.
This has been our busiest. This is less leisure than it's supposed to be.
Not as chill of a World Cup as I thought it would be.
We just can't make plans to go do whatever we want. We have to be like, all right, so you're going to do this, I'm going to do that. All right, so I'm going to be here. I'm doing this.
Literally,
you should do that.
We have the game board of risk as we're moving around.
I mean, look, we're going to have to take over Eat the Obi because I can't. It's just this has been back and forth.
It's been
nonstop,
but we love it. We're having a great.
We might be doing more than, I don't know, players of Saudi Arabia.
Yes, we'll address that. Welcome to the Cooligans, everybody. My name is Christian Polanco.
Yes, it is. And my name is Alexis Guerrero.
And we are your two favorite stand-up comedians who host the funniest soccer podcast that there's ever been.
And never existed another one funnier than this. And also, we ain't just the funniest. Because we can't just be one thing. We got to be a lot of things. One of those things happens to be the motherfucking gulliest, son.
That is right. And if you don't know what gully means, you need to pull up Urban Dictionary right now because we ain't explaining it to you.
But do not pull up on anybody that knows what that means.
So thank you again for listening, man. I think a lot of people have been kind of expecting the Cooligans sort of response or the Cooligans take to the World Cup.
Everything. First of all, shouts to everyone who shared our little sketch.
Yeah,
our little parody.
A little. I mean, I'll call it a big parody. I don't know.
Big old parody. Damn, look at that parody.
Is that a parody in your pants, or are you just happy to see
They must use 4 hymns all up in that parody.
Anyway, yeah, NYCFC. If you, we mentioned it briefly last week. I think it had just come out the day. The day the podcast came out or something like that, or the day prior, but it was apparently a big old hit.
Yeah.
Thank you again for NYCFC to letting us do that.
Yes.
For the All-Star game, which is going to be August 1st. NYCFC, they were like, "Yo, Ishmael Tajiri-Shradi, he's one of our best players. You guys want to do?"
So let's get one of the best podcasts to represent one of the best players. And I was like, "Yo, we got you."
Exactly. So,
might I add, people were like, "Oh, of course they would do some NYCFC." Anybody that asks us and certainly pays us, we will do it. Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, it was cool.
Happily.
It was. I'm happy with the response because I was playing soccer the other day and somebody was walking by the field and they were like, "Yo, Christian, saw you in that NYCFC video."
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Not bad.
Getting recognized?
I've gotten a less enthusiastic response. People have told me I look like a crooked lawyer. I should have been a Staten Island lawyer, which is true.
Well, I mean, have you heard your voice, Alexis? Yeah. If you were my legal counsel,
you should be worried.
Your Honor, clearly my client he's way too gully to even be in this room.
Bro, what are you talking about? Do you mind if I call you bro? Your Honor? Your Honor, bro.
So it's pretty, it's tough to take you that seriously in such serious circumstances.
Now, all of you should wonder how I made it so far in corporate America.
Yes, bullying the opposition.
You think you're going to make that sale, bro?
Yes. So a lot of things happening. We're going to get to the World Cup, but first, before the World Cup, we got to talk about the World Cup comedy tour.
Oh my God! What's bigger than that? Bigger than the World Cup?
The Cooligans teaming up with Total Soccer Show and Michael Majid of the Los Angeles Goalkeeping Academy.
There you go.
Also a comedian.
Yeah, we're not just bringing Goalkeeping Academy coaches. Get up there, give it a try.
But he will do his whole stand-up set in goalie mitts.
Yeah, while we're kicking balls at him, which is very impressive.
Okay, it's going to be one of those Mo Ali training videos. So make sure go to worldcupcomedytour.com. We're going to be probably be in your city.
So we're starting in Omaha. We'll go to Kansas City, Richmond, Virginia Beach, Chicago, Columbus, Cincinnati, Indianapolis.
Okay, and there might be some more added dates in there, so keep on top of it. So go to worldcupcomedytour.com and look at the schedule. If we're going to your city, you gotta come to the shows because it's going to be absolutely sick.
Yeah, and also if you live in those cities and you're a fan of ours, tell your goddamn friends.
Yeah. I mean, tell your friends. Your goddamn friends, I don't want them there.
I know, we don't want those. We only want God-forsaken. But tell your friends, especially if maybe they aren't soccer fans. That's all right. We're going to be doing straight stand-up.
That's right. So there's going to be
a little something for everybody.
There's going to be stand-up comedy. There's going to be soccer. And
stuff.
A lot of giveaways.
Oh,
great
man.
sponsors on board. On the Valley Apparel, Roughneck Scarves, RX Bar. There's going to be food. Good food, Alexa. Healthy food.
Healthy food.
Okay, not
which I will begrudgingly eat. It actually tastes pretty good. I tried one.
So,
and they're healthy for you.
So, we can't harp on this enough. This is like such a unique thing, a unique experience for the comedy / soccer fan.
No one's ever done this before.
No one's ever done. So please.
So we need your support.
Yeah. And
if you want this to happen again, if you want us to come back, if you want us to go to other cities, you got to support. If you live in a city where you want us to go and we're not doing that now, share this. Tell people in those cities. If you have friends who live in those cities, you got to go to it because the more successful this is, the more dates we add, the more opportunity we get to come to other cities. We want to go to your cities. People are hitting us up like, why aren't you coming to San Diego? Why aren't you coming to LA? Why aren't you coming to, Dallas? We want to go. But you got to help us sell these dates. If we sell out every one of these, we're coming to your city.
Exactly. So, all right. Woo. World Cup,
Here
Alexis. All right. Before we even get into the World Cup, because there's too many storylines, but really one of the most insane things that happened at before the tournament even started, a bombshell from España.
They out here firing their manager the day before.
2 days before.
2 days before.
Which is reasonable. 1 day before would be ridiculous.
That's crazy. The guy was like, look, we got to do it now or else this could look bad. God forbid. We do this tomorrow. I mean, everyone's going to be really laughing at us.
Julian Lopetegui. Which is just a sing-songy name.
Yeah, Lopetegui.
Which must be fun. It must be fun to fire a guy like that. Yeah. Lopetegui, get in here.
Mira, lo siento. Lopetegui. Lo tiene que ir.
You're just really reminding him over and over just so you can say his name. Lopetegui, you're fired. Lopetegui, I don't know what am I going to do, Lopetegui?
Lopetegui. Over and over and over again.
But look. Their manager gets fired because he
accepted a job with Real Madrid for after the World Cup.
Yes, which seems
what the hell?
Look, I'm personally I understand. It doesn't seem like that crazy of a thing.
I think it's because we've been trained so much in the. Remember when Manchester City did this the first year of our podcast? When Manuel Pellegrini, they're like, look, we're firing you in a few months.
Yeah.
Keep trying. Win us a couple things. And everybody was cool with it. And I was like, this is insanity. You can't do this. You can't be like, hey, Ernst & Young, I'm going to work for, Charles Schwab. I don't know why you would ever make that switch, but I'm going to go, but not for 6 more months. So if it's cool with you, I quit, but not until much later. I'm still going to come in.
But that raises an interesting point where is it okay for the club to tell you when you're going to be fired? and is it not okay for the manager to tell the club when they're going to leave?
What do you mean?
I'm saying Manchester City told Pellegrini, you're going to be gone at this point.
Yeah, but we're not renewing your contract at the end of the year.
Yes. And so, but they told him ahead of time, and he had to still come into work, right? So that does take.
You don't have to come into work.
You don't have to come into work,
You're
but
going to kick down a few things.
It shows a little bit of grace and nobility to be like, all right, I know I'm not going to be coming back, but I will see out my contract.
Can I ask you a question? What is Manuel Pellegrini doing right now?
I don't know what he's doing.
Nobody does. So where did that grace and honor get him?
Oh, so you think he should have just left once he was told he wasn't going to get his contract
100%.
renewed?
Make a stink. Get your name on the news. Don't just be the guy who's sitting there as like a what do they call them?
Lame duck.
Lame duck. Don't be a lame duck. Bruh.
Don't be a duck, bruh.
Nah, you're more like a lame dove more than anything. You're just sitting there.
Okay. So are you okay with Spain sacking their manager 2 days before the World Cup?
No,
I'm not. Am I?
It makes no sense. Clearly, there was a miscommunication.
There was wild miscommunication.
Yeah, OD levels of miscommunication. It had to have been that he didn't tell them that he was going for that position.
That's exactly what it was.
Yes.
And the problem that what ended up happening was the Real Madrid players on the Spanish national team found out. There were like 2 or 3 players that found out that he was going to be the new manager. So somebody didn't keep their damn mouth shut, right? So when that happened, he was like, "Oh shit! Like they're gonna say something,
right?"
And he's like, "All right, I'm gonna come out with a press release and tell everybody I'm gonna be the manager for Real Madrid,
right?"
And then, but 5 minutes before the press release, he's like, "You know what? Let me call the federation and let them know that this press release is coming out."
Wow.
So then the head of the federation...
So they're like, "Ladies and gentlemen, coming in your press." And the guy's like, "Oh, hold on. Let me tell my current boss.
I gotta text somebody real quick. Give me a second.
You know what? Stretch, give me more credits. I just got to make a quick phone call." This is like whenever I'm hosting or you're hosting and someone's like, "How much do I have before the comic?" You're like, "About a minute." I'm like, "All right, I'm going to go to the bathroom." And then the comic comes off and you're up on stage and that comic's not out of the bathroom.
Yeah.
And you're like, "Oh, boy, you've seen him on this. You've seen her on that." Buddy, I mean, when I tell you, you might have even seen them on, and now you're making stuff up. You're like, "The Chew. She was on The Chew."
You watch it, right, buddy? This guy
watches it.
This guy loves
Where you from? I should be bringing. Where are you from? Then you hear a toilet flush and you're like, "Yeah, bring her up." That's exactly what this guy did. He's like, "Let me go to the bathroom right quick."
Yeah, and so ended up letting the federation know, and there's really nothing better than the press conference of the president of the federation of the Spanish Federation saying like why they had to fire him, and he was just straight up like, it was just wild disrespect.
Yeah.
He's like,
also, it's not really, it is his responsibility, but at the end of the day, the actual logistics of it aren't his responsibility. Where's his agent? Why isn't his agent communicating with his current boss and saying, "Hey, he's accepted an offer for the end of the World Cup"?
Yeah.
This ain't on him. He should be focusing on the World Cup, not interviewing either. But he also shouldn't be like, "Hey, before we do this press, did everyone send thank you letters?" You know, like he should be focusing on the team. He's got 2 days before the damn World Cup.
It's just so unprecedented. And for the Spanish the federation to do this, it seems like yes, what he did was wrong, but you take the slap in the face and you go on because it's too important. They're one of the favorites to win the whole thing. So it seems like the federation was like, "No, it's like a zero tolerance policy."
Hey, what do you more? It's like you're saying that they cut off their nose to spite their face.
Like they let their ego get in the way, and like from a.
But I would have done the same thing.
If you would have fired him,
100%, because you can't show any weakness.
Yes.
Now, that's not just because I'm wearing a suit right now that I say this, but you can't, because then the next guy's going to do the same thing. In order to maintain power, you have to display power.
Okay.
Remember that.
All right. Remember corporate America, Alexis.
Corporate America.
This is corporate Alexis.
You're getting, this is Oxnard Guerrero talking, okay? Y'all thought he was smart? Nah, he's a tycoon. He never left corporate America. And in order to maintain power, you have to display it. You can't let him do this because then the next guy's going to do this. Now, mind you.
What if it costs you the World Cup?
It is what it is. We just won one.
we just won one.
Yeah.
Okay.
They won. Didn't they win World Cup, Euro, World Cup?
That was 2000. What was it? 2010?
Oh, no, they won Euro, World Cup, Euro.
Yes.
Yeah.
2008, 2000.
Bro, we just had parades. You got to fire the guy. Got to fire him. Look, I actually, to be honest, I don't think it's a fireable offense. I think, if anything, he should have fired his agent and blamed him. You could always rehire the guy. He just got you the deal. He's going to get paid.
Okay.
You send him a text like, "Look, bro, you gotta hold this right now," and that's it.
Take this L.
Take this L.
Yeah,
and I'll bring you right back. You're getting paid. You're still getting your money.
Okay.
That's what you got to do. You got to make it look like it wasn't your fault. Everybody with me?
I think it was absurd. Just like you let it go. I mean, there's no real benefit to firing him, and especially so close to the World Cup.
It's just perception. That's literally the only thing you gain.
I mean, is this office politics? It's a goddamn World Cup.
All I'm saying is that's the only thing you get. Right? I agree with you.
It's just
this is really dumb. I would have done it.
It's just at the Federation, they're like over the water cooler, like, can you believe what Lopetegui did?
Yeah, I know. Lopetegui again.
Wow, his performance review is going to be, I think it's going to be very negative.
Yeah. It's almost like he doesn't even care about us.
No, just crazy. And I hope, look, and we saw, and we're going to talk about the game with Spain and Portugal, but who's this? The World Cup is such a mentally taxing time and mentally taxing tournament.
Yeah.
Everyone in the world is watching. And that pressure, we saw it in the day one games for a lot of the teams where they make mistakes. Because there's too much pressure, and
what did two of the best teams supposedly going in? They're the only ones who actually took 3 points from their first games.
Yeah, pretty much. Or like a lot of the teams that you expected to win did not.
Yeah.
Either through upset or just like lack of focus or whatever. But there's a lot of pressure. So the fact that they would fire him 2 days before the World Cup begins is just that's it. Spain is not winning anything. If they do, I mean, it would be insanity.
Why? They drew,
but this again, it's just more of a mental game. It's like, I know that the guy that they replaced him with, I forgot his name. He's not like some throwaway manager. He's a experienced manager, but still, what it does to the psychology of a squad going into World Cup, it's more negative than positive. That's all I'm saying.
I agree with you.
You think the players are like, oh, I'm so glad they got rid of him. How dare he?
Yeah. Sergio Ramos like, you got to do it. You got to do it.
I don't want any weird stuff when I go back to Real Madrid.
It's gonna be awkward, but he knows what he did. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
At the end of the day, you shouldn't do it, but also I understand why you do it, and I've already said I would do it, right? Because you got to save face. But I think Spain is one of the few teams in this tournament that they have leaders on the pitch. They got Iniesta. He should have been player coach. Son, we don't need nobody. He's been here for what? The last 8 World Cups?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How old is he now? You're going to be fine. I think you're going to be fine. Also, Ronaldo will not get hat tricks every time you play him. So you're good.
Yes. Look, it was a. We'll talk about the game in more detail later. But there's nothing.
They're going to be fine.
I think they're going to be fine. But I think without that drastic change, they would have been dominant or just a little bit more mentally sort of stable in
100%.
In
but
those
you know
games.
what builds that sort of bond with your team a little bit better than, drawing in the end. I mean, look, that could also rip it apart, but I have a feeling because they are a little bit of an older team, and they have a little bit more, experience, they're gonna be fine. At least that's what I think.
Okay.
But how wrong was I? I picked nothing but losers this entire thing.
So the World Cup began on last week on Thursday. Russia opening it up.
Yep.
against Saudi Arabia, and they definitely opened it up.
No boy did that. What a lucky pick. Yeah. How did Saudi Arabia qualify for the World Cup when they've never played soccer before? How's that possible? Huh?
Well, there was a lot of fun moments.
Do they just let the Saudi princes play? Is that it?
Yeah, they just have. They all have. I don't even know what the thing is called that they wear, like the Sultan sort of thing.
Yeah.
Whatever. That'd be cool.
That'd be dope as
if
hell.
FIFA allowed that uniform, that'd be dope.
It has to be the same color as the kit.
Just the green. Look. More than no one, I think no one really expected Russia to play as well as they did, but Vladimir Putin was there to.
It's also the opener in your home country. I don't think an opener has ever lost.
Russia is the worst team in this tournament. They hadn't won, I think, in 7 games.
They're probably playing the worst, but I don't think they are the worst team.
I mean, it's tough to say. I mean, when you see them play,
we all saw Saudi Arabia. Yeah,
Saudi Arabia.
I feel like it's not that tough anymore. You know what I mean?
Saudi Arabia now seems like the worst team in the World Cup.
Also, I mean, when they qualify with a bit of an easier group than anyone else. And I mean, Russia certainly doesn't have it harder, but I feel like if you're where Saudi Arabia is, you get some easier games through qualifying.
Because the Asian
that area is not as rich with talent.
Yeah. And but everyone was talking about how bad Russia was leading up to the tournament. That I was like, oh, this is just going to be a terrible game, and nobody's going to really score anything. But Russia was like, they seemed more like they were just like physically overpowering over the Saudi Arabians.
Yeah, they're big, juiced up monsters out there.
Just Ivan Dragos.
Yeah. I break you, every one of them.
They really did make them. They pushed them around.
I fight for me. I don't know. Wait, that was the wrong character. I fight for me.
That was Arnold Schwarzenegger in Rocky. All of a sudden,
I fight for me. Why am I here? Better movie,
Adrian.
Better movie,
Adrian.
How are you doing here, Adrian?
Yeah,
better movie.
That's what we need. We need to put Arnold Schwarzenegger in different movies.
Can we get him on a green screen and just put him in movies? I would rewatch Rocky 4, right? If he was Ivan Drago.
Oh boy. But the tournament itself started with there was opening ceremony. Robbie Williams.
I never watch the opening ceremony.
I usually don't, but I felt like I was.
I'm not a fan of the pageantry.
You're not a fan. You're not a fan of any pageantry.
No, not at all.
Hey, everybody dressed all nice going to this. Like, nah. Give me my Nikes.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And a button down.
Oh my God! Now we're talking.
So, but Robbie Williams had the singer dude. He's like one of these.
He sang a song called Millennium, and that's all I've ever heard.
Yeah, he's just like
him.
He's a pop singer, been around for years. But he was
in a boy band in England at one point or something.
Okay, but he had a fun moment where I didn't know he has a song that is
probably terrible.
I mean, they're all pretty bad. But I think with a lot of these World Cup, you can't really. You're not gonna have
Migos come out there. Hey. Walk it. And everyone's like, what is it? What are they even saying?
So, they can't really be too risque with it. But he had a song that starts with "Can I kick it? Yes, you can." Can I? Which is not, obviously he's a cover. It's not his song.
So yeah, it's an old hip hop thing.
It's a Tribe Called Quest.
Get it because of soccer.
We get it, but it's also it feels like absolute blasphemy seeing Robbie Williams sing that song.
100%.
And I couldn't tell because he would go, "Can I kick it?" And then you would hear the crowd go, "Yes, you can." And I'm like, "Yo, all of a sudden Russians know
English,
a Tribe Called Quest, like they know it like that."
Big Tribe fans, are we?
So it was a bit of a surprise, but there were a bunch of Ronaldo was there during the opening.
Cheesing real hard.
Yeah, coming out with one of the kids, one of the mascots, and they normally have like like a whatever, like in the Super Bowl, the same thing. Like it's because there's no halftime show during the World Cup, and like
this is that.
So they do.
It's like a very like the Olympics.
Yes.
It's very much like the Olympics.
And there was an article in the Athletic about that, exactly, about all the sort of different
the details of the opening ceremony.
The opening ceremony. I mean, the weirdest part to me was seeing Vladimir Putin just like sort of give the opening like statement and welcome everybody to Russia and for the World Cup. And it's just like, yo, this dude like murders his enemies.
So you let him speak in the opening, though.
And maybe that was the thing that got the Russian national team really like,
we gotta win.
We really gotta give our best over here.
Wait till the two Sergeys comes out, that 30 for 30.
Yes, I'm waiting for that.
Oh my god!
I mean, I don't want to see it, but I want to see it.
I don't want to see it, but I'm gonna see it. It's gonna be nothing. It's gonna be longer than an hour. I'll tell you that.
So a lot of people had issues with that, as they should, because he's a monster, right?
Yeah.
So there was
but no one involves himself in a foreign election better. I mean, geez, you got to give it up to him.
The best at it. If there was a Ballon d'Or for involving yourself, meddling in American elections,
buddy, I would collude to make sure you get that award. That's all I'm saying.
But
actually, the Athletics article did a good job because I didn't watch it. I didn't care to watch it. I saw small parts of it. And I'm like, I'm just going to go make myself a cup of coffee. I'm not getting involved in this. So the Athletic article actually did a really good job of breaking it down, almost like the way you would break down a game.
Yeah,
like, here's what happened, and then this happened, and this person only had to do this. It was really, really funny. And we've talked about the Athletic before, but they did a really good job of that. So if you don't have it, go get it.
Yeah, that's right. And we are this episode is partly sponsored by the Athletic.
Yeah, we're not bringing it up for no reason. Okay,
but you make sure you go to theathletic.com/Cooligans, and you can get 40% off your first year subscription. They have a bunch of articles like this, but just a bunch of stuff. Like this is more the lighthearted stuff.
There's the lighthearted stuff, but like it just goes to show it's not all like there's people that don't just want soccer nerd stuff.
Yeah,
this website's doing it all. So go to the Athletic. They've got some really great writers. My favorite part was the Ronaldo thing. They said he was like cheesing ear to ear. Yeah, you would too if you were getting that money, okay?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Not only would I fire Lopetegui, I would also smile real big if I was getting that kind of check.
But my favorite moment from the first day of the World Cup was the first goal from Russia. And
which was Debuva?
I have no idea who scored
Debuvia? Let's just say it's Debuvia. remember when we played FIFA the News as the Russian team?
Yes.
And we were joking around and Debuvia kept scoring.
Okay.
That was the guy.
Okay, yeah.
So it's
the interesting thing about those, like, some of those, like, less popular sort of soccer nations is that they're
like USA.
One that they included, and this is totally relevant to what I'm about to say. But I feel like those countries that don't have that same soccer structure have like their soccer players that play in like 8 World Cups because like no one else has come along.
Yeah.
So it's like one of those dudes that, like the Russian national team, they all look like 43 years old.
Yeah, they all have white hair.
Yeah, and like they just had newborn kids and they haven't slept. You know, they look like they've been through so much.
Yeah, they're all smoking cigarettes before the game.
But my favorite moment from this game after the first goal, the triple shrug from Gianni Infantino, Vladimir Putin, and I guess I don't know who the Saudi Arabian either president or prince or sultan. I don't know who it was.
Yeah, somebody from Saudi Arabia. Just the 3 most powerful people currently right now in this game in soccer. Yeah. And the 3 of them like, what are you going to do? Just like, people die, they die.
It really felt like FIFA has their issues with corruption and scandals and stuff like that. Clearly, Vladimir Putin does.
I think what they were actually listening to was Federico Higuain saying, "If this happened in my country, people die." And the 3 of them go, "Well, yes, also in our countries, people die."
But it really felt like soccer seeing that image of those 3 people be that like sort of like chill about anything really makes soccer seem so unimportant,
because they weren't saying that like, oh, by the way, they ran out of chicken salad. That wasn't, and they were like, oh, who cares? We're powerful people, we can have whatever we want whenever we want, we don't mind. That was not it. They were specifically shrugging because something sinister had either happened or had been agreed upon. And that's exactly, I don't care who hears this. I don't care what you say. That's 100% why all three of them shrugged.
It was pretty absurd. So but look, it was a fun start, man. I think just the fact that Russia's they have a lot of problems because obviously they got the World Cup in not the chillest of ways, right? They not really all above board, but
we both just did a shrug,
triple shrug. They
triple shrugged their way. But someone's like, you know how you got this World Cup, right? You did X, Y, and Z, and they all went, what
are you gonna do?
Look at the pageantry; it was worth it.
So I think it's very important for. It's like the opening game is the opening comic on a show. Yeah, it has to be. It doesn't have to be the best comic.
No, but you got to have the right energy.
They got to have the right energy.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. It was just like, I mean, sorry for Saudi Arabia. Any Saudi Arabia fans? Sorry.
No, actually, congratulations. No one could take a punch like you guys. I mean, that was beautiful. What you did for Russia to make sure their World Cup starts off without a hitch was a beautiful thing.
And
if you're a Russian fan, 5 goals is a lot of fun to watch.
Exactly.
If you're a Saudi Arabia fan, oof.
Sure.
I'm sure you didn't watch after the 3rd goal, but that was...
Yeah, has Saudi Arabia been in the World Cup before?
It doesn't look like
it. Yeah, I think I feel like they didn't know. Like it was like first day of school, they didn't know anybody in class, and just like
they were very confused because they're like, we keep winning the Saudi Arabia Cup of Nations. How are we playing so badly against Russia?
Yeah, but there were issues with. So in general, they want the tournament to go well because a lot of people care about what's going on in Russia politically and all this stuff. So it's anything that's good press for them is exciting and positive. But like I had read some reports that there were notices to traveling fans going into Russia, especially gay fans. They said they told them to not show affection in Russia because Russian people. They can't stand gay people, and they will just attack people. And I think Vice did a thing on this.
Yeah, seems like a great place to host a multinational tournament.
They should. It's like
I'm really happy that Russia put their name in for this. Jesus Christ!
So look, even we're hoping that that stuff is absolutely minimal.
I would love to tell just a guy in a deli in Queens. They told gay people not to show affection. They're like, for a World Cup and you can't show gay. Like they'd be so confused with the stereotypes in their head of this sport.
I don't wait. What?
Because they think soccer is gay. You
know okay.
So
okay.
Like, you could just do the World Cup, huh?
So yeah. Look, in general, good start. And but
we just talked about 3 like bad world leaders. You're like, great start.
No, but it at least had like fun and silly moments to talk about, and because that's what kind of that triple shrug was kind of going viral on Twitter.
We need those moments.
We do, because there's a lot of bad stuff,
especially next cycle when it's in Qatar. Please. Give us more fodder like this to talk about.
So before we even go forward, we recorded our podcast before the announcement of 2026.
We did it.
So it's official. United States, Canada, Mexico will be hosting the 2026 World Cup.
So the Cooligans is going nowhere up until 2026 at least.
We're not gonna. You don't want to go to Qatar to watch some World Cup games?
Oh, we'll go to Qatar. Can I get a really big umbrella? Is that possible?
Okay, so that is exciting, and I think a lot of people, some people are mad that like we have this country shouldn't even get the World Cup if we don't have pro-rel. We have those people, and then we have the people that are like, we've heard the stories of people who went to the '94 World Cup, and like we're gonna be talking about him in a moment. Landon Donovan was like, I went to my first World Cup, and that triggered me and inspired me to become the soccer player that I was in my career.
This World Cup is already. Look at Iceland. Look at how well they did in the Euros, and we've seen documentary after documentary about how much the kids in that country now are sort of inspired to play soccer. 330,000 people, they qualified, we didn't. So there's clearly not just watching your team do well in the World Cup, but having a World Cup in your country, especially in a country where soccer isn't the number one sport. That's massive. So it's going to be huge. You're going to see, will we even be alive? But, 2036, that year. Let's see what those soccer players look like, because it's the 10 and the 12-year-olds that will be inspired in 2026.
Yeah, and there's already a lot of people, a lot of my friends are doing it. We saw this online a bunch. They're planning on, like, they want to know what host cities, they're already planning, like,
they're getting flights already.
Yeah. And then they're like, a couple of my friends have kids, and they're like, oh, my son is going to be 15 and it's going to be perfect and all this other stuff. So that's like already this is like what's bubbling, and it's going to be incredibly positive, and it's going to leave a great influence. My hope, honestly, and to the pro rel people, my hope is that MLS or whatever iteration of soccer is at whatever level, and I'm hoping that by 2026 the league is almost not necessarily forced to do that, but I'm hoping that by then we're there where I want lower level soccer to be in a more stable place.
Okay, here's my point to this, because I hope, I'm going to give you hope, and I'm going to probably take it away all at the same time.
Yeah.
All right. Kind of what I do here. My hope is, remember when we got the 94 World Cup, they said you have to have a top flight league.
Yes.
You got to have it. So there were stipulations to them getting the World Cup in 94. So there might be stipulations to them getting it in 2026. And maybe something that feels like Pro Rel or Pro Rel as we know it in the rest of the world.
Pro relish.
Delicious. Yeah, Pro Rel-ish. You got to try it. Maybe something like it, or maybe it's exactly what we've all hoped for. Who knows? Now, the reason why I don't have a lot of confidence, I think there's evidence to suggest that might happen. Here's why I'm not confident, because they promised, I think it was $100 billion profit. So they said everyone gets like 80 million. Like every country involved is going to get this massive number, because there's nothing bigger than doing it in the U.S., Mexico, and Canada was just like, we can't leave them out. So
we came with us. I mean, I don't know why.
It's my little brother. My mother asked me, I got to watch him. He's very sweet. Has a lot of maple syrup with him. I think it was a decision made for the money. So I don't think FIFA had the ability, especially with all the Loretta Lynch stuff and all that, all the extraditions, to say like, I will give it to you, but you got to have Pro Rel. I don't think that's the case, but there is evidence to suggest that that's possibly the case. If they did agree to that, we won't know it, and we won't know it until it happens. And if MLS ever does institute that, they're going to say it was on their own merit. So we'll never know. And if we do, it's because it's leaked, and it probably won't come out until it's closer to that event. So up until now, or up until then, just kind of keep pushing for it if that's what you really want.
Sure. Okay. But regardless, it's going to change. It's going to change the landscape of soccer. Yeah, that's all.
I mean, even if all that happens is afterwards, a lot more people want to play soccer. So you have a lot more really good players in this country.
Yeah.
And those lower division players are so much better. Then you're going to have to.
And it's worthwhile.
Yeah. And you're going to have more fans. Look, all this gets solved with fans. The more fans, the better. Yep. The more fans for Cooligans, the better. So make sure you tell your friends about it.
We want to get promoted to Division 1. So please.
Yeah. Right now, it's two hacks up there to speak an English accent. It's not fair.
Anyway, let's talk about...
Talk about the Men in Blazers, by the way.
Landon Donovan.
Here we go. Benedict Arnold Donovan.
Oh, my goodness.
Look, at first, all right, so if you don't know, he plays in Mexico, although they just canceled his contract.
He just...
He's not going to play in the Apertura. He's not going to play in the final part of the season. I guess technically it's another season.
No. Apertura is beginning. Clausura is the last one.
Clausura. So he's not going to play in the Clausura.
He's not going to play in the Apertura.
In the Apertura, the next season.
He only played in the Clausura, only. Yeah. He only played for 4 months.
All right. Ya tu sabe. All right. Here's what happened. He's rooting for Mexico. Here's where I'm a little uncomfortable. He's rooting for Mexico by way of a Wells Fargo ad.
Yeah, so you've probably already seen these commercials.
You've seen our parody of it. Very funny picture we put out.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm like, we did a parody? I thought we just did an NYCFC parody.
It's just me and another guy that looks like you. You're like,
why are you doing? You're doing parodies behind my back,
bruh? Are you Lipiteggying right now?
How dare you? Look, you've been seeing commercials with Landon Donovan doing Wells Fargo ads, talking about how he's a Mexico fan. This is my other team, and whatever. So as soon as he put up the photo came out before the commercials.
Yeah.
So look, in general, you can understand why people would be upset with Landon Donovan. He's the highest goal scorer for the U.S. men's national team.
And Mexico was his bitter rival his entire career.
He is one of the most decorated American footballers. So you can understand why people would be like, "Yo, Donovan, what's up with that?"
Yeah,
like it's a bit ridiculous that you're supporting our rival. Mexico, the Mexican national team is our rival.
Yeah, that'd be like Derek Jeter doing Chase Bank commercials wearing Red Sox gear.
Yes. Yeah. So you could understand. I mean,
you'd be like, wow, for the money?
Yeah.
For the money, you turn your back?
Derek Jeter, you can do whatever you want, but Yankee fans are going to be kind of mad at you.
Yeah.
So.
And here's my thing. I think I understand the political point he's making, the way people are treating Mexicans in this country. It makes sense to sort of, I don't know what the word is, salute, pay tribute to the Mexican national team.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. In fact, honorable if you do that.
Yeah.
I got a little problem if you start wearing the jersey and holding up the scarf when it's a commercial.
Yes.
All of that feels real dirty. And then he's also clapping back at people.
And this is
really disrespectful.
And this is the real problem.
Yeah.
Look, I personally am.
Christian has a problem with this because he doesn't like Mexicans, but also because of the way.
Okay, slow it down. I personally don't have an issue ethically with the ads. You want to sell out and do ads for the Mexican national team? Whatever, dog. Like I have a right to have an opinion on it, but right. I'm not like Landon Donovan is the devil.
No. Also, but to your point, there was a way to do this in tongue in cheek.
Totally.
There was a way to do this where it's clearly a joke that he's rooting for Mexico, or clearly not real. There's a way to do that.
Yeah.
And they didn't. They went all in, and he's just hanging out on Twitter.
If they hire the Cooligans to write the ad campaign, it's going to be fun. It's going to be cheeky.
It's going to be cheeky as hell.
Little cheeky Nandos, all right?
Come on, like being on a beach in Brazil. Very cheeky.
I didn't really
cheeky Nandos.
Just we're having a good time, right? That's all.
A great time. A lot of riffing back and forth. A lot of riffing.
So I didn't necessarily the ad campaign. I understand if people are mad at you. I get that. I'm not personally mad because it's just like whatever. Land on do whatever you want to do.
Do you?
But the clapping back on Twitter. So his former teammates. Obviously, Carlos Bocanegra, one of the former teammates for the men's national team, one of the technical director, I forgot what he does exactly at Atlanta United.
Counts money.
He's a big
counting
head
all his
honcho,
money.
one of the head honchos out there. He clearly on Twitter, he quote tweets Landon Donovan's original tweet with the holding the Mexico flag, and Bocanegra's like, really?
And he does the hand in the face.
Really, dog? Right?
Yeah.
And then this is where he crossed the line. Landon Donovan responds with I'm paraphrasing. I don't want to look it up because there's no point. But he basically
fuck you, fam. You're not paraphrasing. You're not paraphrasing at all, Chris.
No, he basically questions Bocanegra's heritage, and he says don't you have a?
Isn't your dad part Mexican?
I think a grandparent or something like that. Isn't your dad part Mexican or isn't your dad Mexican? Don't you see how people are being treated in this country, Mexican people? And then it's all right, dude. Nobody's talking about Mexican people. No. We're talking about the Mexican national team. You are you captain you provided so many incredible moments for U.S. men's national team history, and now even against Mexico, and now now you're supporting them and it's part of an ad campaign.
People rooted for you to beat the Mexican national team.
Yes,
you were part of who we wanted to help us beat the Mexican national team. That would be George W. Bush being come to Afghanistan for vacation. It'd just be odd. You'd be like, damn, son.
Yeah, I want to see that commercial.
We got it, the green screen, because your boy's not going to survive if he goes out there. But
I can promise you the mission has been accomplished out here.
Mission is accomplished, and that's you enjoying this resort. I'm floored that he would do it in this manner. I'm not floored that he would do it. I actually, when I first saw it, I was like, you know what? Politically, I like the message this is sending, that, nation over, or just people over nation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like that. The way it's played out, really unhappy with, because it's like, yo, your former players. This is the team you went hard against over and over and over again.
Yeah. But I could have lived with just the ad campaign. I'm like, all right, he's dumb for doing it. And
again, there's still a way it could have been done. Where
yeah,
it's cheeky.
Yes, and I could live with that. It's the questioning. He did it to a couple people. Bocanegra was just probably the more high profile person, but Landon Donovan's defending himself and being like, "This is why I did the campaign," but to use to sort of get mad at people for even having the nerve to question him, that's how it all came off. Where like, you're part Mexican, you shouldn't even be talking.
Yeah.
You know, like that is at that point, now we're not even talking about soccer anymore.
It's uncomfortable.
Yeah. So it's like, now you went from you were a couple days ago American hero. Yeah, things fell off with Klinsmann and all the other stuff towards the end, but you were still highly respected in the soccer world.
Right.
And this just took you from like maybe people in the soccer community maybe didn't like things about you, and now the casual fan is just like, yeah, what's this guy doing?
Right. And look, dude, if he would have said like, hey man, I played down there for half a season or whatever, for half a year, and people treated me with such love and respect, and I grew to love some of the players that are there because I played with them, and I understand that it's uncomfortable for me to root for the team, but I want those guys that I know to win, and I'd be happy for them, and it would be a great FU to Trump. All those things, we all would have been like, all right, we're not that happy with it, but okay. No one could come at you, but they're like, yo, you Mexican, dog. You shouldn't be talking.
It's just
that's just uncomfortable,
and it also makes Wells Fargo look bad, because then it's like,
no, it's not, because look, they're being talked about everywhere.
Well, that's true.
This is what you want.
And another issue is that Wells Fargo was like one of the banks that were involved in like the housing crisis,
yeah,
and scammed a lot of Mexican people in Southern California. So it's
all their commercials that don't involve Landon is them apologizing. Have you noticed that?
Yes.
I don't have. We have a cable, but I very rarely watch. I generally watch this stuff on the internet, and like cast it to the TV. But the more I travel, the more I see like I just leave the TV on in the hotel room. Every Wells Fargo commercial is like, we know what we did.
Which is,
and how can we say sorry besides a 0% loan? It's like all these it's like the apology tour for Wells Fargo, and then you do this.
Yeah,
it's uncomfortable.
It's also like when
I'm using uncomfortable because I don't know what else to say.
If there's a bank that's doing commercials that's like, yo, my bad, but like it's just like, why work with that bank?
But like, you want to know who the real villain is? This men's national team star.
They really took off a lot of the heat and put it on Landon Donovan. Yeah. This is probably the most brilliant marketing campaign for Wells Fargo.
I now respect Wells Fargo. Now that we've broken this down, dog, I would have done this.
Just insane. And I don't want to make light of how Mexicans are treated, and I understand what Landon Donovan is doing. I mean, I was just like, I don't know if people heard the audio from like those detention centers where people are separating ICE is separating kids from their parents and all this
we've
other.
Got kiddie concentration camps in this country now.
It is so you want there's a
precedent for what he's
there's
trying
a noble
to do.
aspect. Yes, I understand what he's trying to do, but it's like, bro, even though you're trying to do this, people can still be mad at you that you're supporting the U.S.'s rival in soccer. If
you think how Landon Donovan responded, or something about Landon Donovan's actions recently is awkward or uncomfortable, again, to use that term, or you're not 100% fine with it, that doesn't mean you should be marching with tiki torches. You know what I mean? Like that is not the case.
It's not one of the other.
Yeah, you can't. There's a lot of gray in there. But I really like Wells Fargo's newest campaign, where they have Sergio Ramos saying, drag down the rates of interest loans the way I did Mohamed Salah. I think that's a really, really good idea for them.
And they shouldn't be airing them in Egypt.
No.
That's what I'm against.
For Egypt. It's actually for Wells Fargo Habibi, which is their Egypt edition, which is
bold of them, but what are you gonna do? So yeah, look, it's just dumb, man. A lot of people, the shame to me is like the conversation that it kind of sparked, and already Donovan he deleted tracked back and on all this stuff, but like it's like, dude, you want to be a corporate shill, we get called that. You want to be that, then go be that. Don't be phony.
And we've said this on the podcast that we will 100% shill for your company if you give us money. But we'll start a show called Cash, Check, and Shill, where we dress in robes only in the first few episodes, interview grime artists while we're cashing checks.
All right,
so we got zero problem with it.
The fact that he would double down on it is it really just shows like just a very short-sighted, not understanding like the consequences of what he was doing. So it's just like if you want to be the Wells Fargo guy celebrating the Mexican national team, go for it, man. Yeah. Don't respond to anybody on Twitter. We get what you're doing. Make a little money.
Or just whenever someone's like, why would you do that? Just respond with that little bag of money emoji. And everybody gets it.
Yeah, he's like, yo, Donovan, what are you doing? I'm trying to get that bag.
I'm trying to get that bag.
And that's it. And
trying to secure the bag.
People are going to hate you, and you deal with it, and you move on.
Yeah, but your peoples will respect you. Right now, your peoples don't respect you.
That's right. And that's what we have put on the thing.
On the scarf.
On the scarf. It be your own people.
Always be your own people.
It be your own mans.
Yeah.
At all times.
Always.
You gotta.
Best friend becomes strangers.
So we'll see. I have a good feeling Landon Donovan is not going to be called up for the 22 World Cup.
Yeah.
2022 World Cup. I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't want to put that out there necessarily. I'm not just saying. I don't want to speculate, but I think that his chances
kind of just gone down.
got dragged down by Sergio Ramos. So.
And I actually heard that the Spanish Federation is going to fire him. They're very disrespected by all of this.
So, all right. So let's we got to talk about a lot of these games. We'll get through them. Just up is down, down is up. It's ridiculous. What Germany?
Come on, man.
Mexico. Come on, man. We did it. That was incredible.
Sí se puede.
Sí se puede.
All right. So why don't we come back? After this, we got a nice interview. We were down in Miami.
That's right.
We talked to Jimmy Conrad and Mike LaBelle.
We were at the Red Bull Neymar Jr. 5.
Absolutely. Neymar Juniors 5s.
Yeah.
They're both plural. It's
Junior.
Red Bulls, Neymar Juniors.
Well, no, it's not plural because Neymar Juniors was possessive, not plural.
So it's Neymar Juniors.
Neymar Juniors
is possessive.
Possessive. 5s, plural.
I was just saying plural because they'll have S's on the end.
Yeah. Well, that's not how grammar works,
Okay,
Alexis.
well, I'm ESL, and now you're being offensive. All right? You're clapping back like Landon Donovan does.
I'm part of the problem.
All right, so there we go. It's about time he admits it, folks. Why don't you listen to this? We got a really cool interview. We did it down in Miami. Jimmy Conrad, you know him, you love him. Mike LaBelle.
Yeah, played in the World Cup.
Played in World Cup. Scored against Mexico. And now Wachovia Bank is paying him to be a fan of the Mexican national team. Watch this right after, or listen to that right after this. Yeah, everybody, thank you so much for listening to the Cooligans. I just want to break in with a little bit of word from one of our new sponsors. We got a new sponsor.
Ooh, that's exciting.
And let me tell you something. We jumped on a call with these guys, and they're like, wait till you see. This is the most comfortable shorts you'll ever wear. And I was like, look, I don't even wear shorts. I don't think any adult should be showing their shins. You know what I mean? That's why I like that soccer players wear shin guards. And they're like, no, trust me, you wear these shorts, you could swim in them, you could do whatever you want. And I was like, nah, son, I'll put them on and I'll tell you. Yo, no joke. These are really comfortable shorts. They're like made of like stretching material.
Okay.
So like, but they don't look it. They don't look like they're stretchy or anything. They don't look athletic, but they don't kind of look like trouser or slack material. They look really comfortable. They are really comfortable to wear. They're kind of red stripes and it's got like blue and stars across the back. My wife saw me and she's like, what? You wearing shorts?
Ooh, looking good.
And I was like, yo, you want to walk to the store? She's like, you going to go out in shorts? I was like, I'm feeling it right now. And let me tell you something. I'm not joking. They got like these cool zippers on the sides where like instead of back pockets, the stuff goes in the sides. It's perfectly constructed. It was made for someone specifically who loves wearing shorts. So if you don't decide that you want to go to Bird Dogs, you're crazy. Because if you go to Bird Dogs, you're going to get incredible shorts. Guys, I'm telling you, these are so goddamn comfortable. Just go to birddogs.com. That's BIRDDOGS.com. Use the promo code Cooligans, and they'll throw in a free Bird Dogs dad hat with your order. Not only are you going to have cool shorts, they're going to have a dope-ass dad hat to go with it.
That is
so that's almost like 90% of your wardrobe.
you got the cool shorts, you got the cool dad hat. If you're a dad, this is the dad uniform.
Also, imagine you had that in a Gulliest shirt. I mean, this is the outfit of the year.
Crushing it.
You could be at the MTV Movie and TV Awards just walking with that, and they're like, oh my God, what you wearing? Bird Dogs and Cooligans. And they're like, psh.
So
get in the front row.
So that's it, guys. Again, make sure you support Bird Dogs because if they like that our fans are purchasing some of their stuff, they'll advertise with us a little bit more.
Yeah, that'll be dope.
You'll be supporting the Cooligans. So make sure you go to birddogs.com, use the promo code Cooligans, and they will throw in a free Bird Dog dad hat with your order. What a great gift.
Look who we have here.
Oh, boy.
We're still in Miami. We're goddamn Cooligans. You know exactly who we are. Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, the sex appeal has just gone
really
through the roof.
Just really taking attention away from us, I think.
You know, I hope.
I'm caught in the middle of this.
Yeah. I hope all the ladies, just change their underwear because Jimmy took his sunglasses off and is staring right up. Look at that chiseled jaw.
What's up, ladies?
If you're looking for a vegetarian that travels a lot and stays up late.
Yeah. By the way, happily married man. Everyone, let's get out of that. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys know him. You love both of them. We got Jimmy Conrad and Mike LaBelle together at the same time for the first time, for the only time here on the Cooligans. Fellas, what are we doing? We're all in Miami to do what now?
We are here for the U.S. Final for the Neymar Juniors 5 tournament. It's an awesome tournament, by the way. I played in it this year in Kansas City in the regional. I won't tell you what happened, but I had a great time, met a lot of interesting people.
Let's just say he's here as a host.
I am. And Mike LaBelle was here last year in the U.S. Final and crashed out. But tell us about that, Mike.
How'd that go?
Wow.
Yeah, can you relive that moment?
Talk about that.
So, Jimmy, what are you doing? Real quick, I want to burn Mike.
It's called deflecting. I'm deflecting.
That's the last time you talk about my work ethic and staying up late.
He got back at you.
Throwing shots at me for being a vegetarian.
Damn right, I'm a vegetarian. I like pizza.
Hell yeah. All right, now we're talking business.
Yeah, I know.
We're in the pizza business. So, you guys are kind of we're all kind of like doing something here, but everything.
Yeah, and just in case people do not know, Mike LaBelle, he is the MLS player for the New York Red Bulls.
Yeah.
Jimmy Conrad. What was that noise?
Your favorite former
U.S. men's national team player. I was gonna say.
You never said that before, huh?
No, never once.
I don't know. You guys might have never heard this before, but somebody here scored a header against Mexico.
That's what's up. Hey, give it up. That's what. Hey, thanks, dude. Thanks.
I used to give you some dap.
Yeah. It was good. It was good. I didn't even have to jump. That's the best part.
That's a big moment.
It's
Major
a big
moment.
Yeah.
So, Mike, tell everybody what you're doing here specifically, because you're an MLS player, but you're not out here playing FIFA and stuff.
Right. So Jimmy and I are both hosting the event.
Very cool.
So you're going to hear our voice during the live stream where we have the finals for women and the finals for men. And this is the first year that they have the women's division, which is pretty exciting.
Very
to see it
exciting.
expand.
It's about time.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Time's up.
Sure. Yeah, and there's a lot of stoppage time, so it's going on. The game's going on pretty long, so that's important.
Wait, where can they find that? Facebook.com/Red Bull? That's where the live stream is,
I don't know
right?
where
Yeah,
they're doing
I think that is good.
I think they're doing it on mine.
Oh, on yours.
Yeah, but I don't know that.
Must be nice, Mike LaBelle.
Yeah.
It's on the Red Bull Facebook Live.
That would make sense. And I'm probably cross-posting.
That's fine. Yeah.
I think we all agree to cross.
Just come hang out with us.
We're
Come
all
comment.
cross-posting this on Facebook.
That's right.
If you don't go to Red Bull, we will have it on one of our Facebooks
Exactly.
or all of our Facebooks.
I might even be cross-posting this on like a pizza shop's Facebook. You never know.
So
never know.
both of you guys have been on the show. Mike, you were on the show recently. We played FIFA. We talked to you about your EMLS career and how that began and everything. Jimmy's been on the show before. Jimmy it's been about a year and a half. You were on the Cooligans before we would be invited.
You were the gulliest.
That's how I met these guys. Was at your going away party. Remember you had a going away?
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
When
Yeah.
you moved from New York
That's right.
back to San Fran.
That's right. Yeah,
Or
cool.
back to Cali.
That's right. Thanks for coming to that. Appreciate it.
Well, yeah, that was a lot of fun.
And our relationship was born, and now I had
Yeah.
two more people that make fun of me all the time.
It's just so easy.
Thank you
And
for that
plus,
introduction, Jimmy.
You know, the one party that everyone's going to show up to if Jimmy is involved is where he's going to finally go away. So, see, we can do it to both.
Yeah, they go to confirm that he's
I don't
leaving.
believe what you're saying, but that's
No,
fine.
and I didn't
Keep
mean
going.
it either. I was just trying to help Mike.
Yeah.
Before we turned the cameras on, the first thing they told me was, "You look really hot. You're just like uncomfortable. What have you been doing?" That was the compliment. That was the.
Oh, they're talking. I looked really hot.
No,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
like, Jimmy.
No, not that kind of.
No,
hot.
Jimmy,
There's
you
other-
killing it right now.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
No,
Yeah.
you do.
Mike,
you look uncomfortable.
Maybe go look in the mirror.
Like-
or
like-
something.
Where's the mirror? I
Mike,
need to
Get
check myself out.
yourself right, Mike.
Yeah.
Like you got some swamp butt right now.
We all do.
Hey, we all do.
I hope that's not the case.
I hope everyone has some man ponds in.
So Jimmy, what's been
I'm
going?
on the lookout for hand sanitizer.
Jimmy, what's been going on since the last time you were on the show?
Trying to keep this
I'm
interview.
trying to, I'm trying to be somewhat professional.
He's trying to transition this.
So
Yes.
cute that he's trying to be professional.
I mean, we could just direct
He
direct
looks
all our
hot.
attention.
Look at that. Zoom in.
I'm
He
very
looks
hot
hot.
because I'm
no.
the only one working.
Oh no, he's stressed. That's not warm.
Okay, can this be the shit on Mike LaBelle show? No, yes, it can, but we don't want that.
You know how many
You sure?
viewers we
I
just
can't-
got? You know how many viewers? Somebody just started that Twitter.
That's
Jimmy.
actually what's going down
Shit
tomorrow.
on
That's
Mike
gonna be a
LaBelle.
live broadcast of Jimmy shitting on me.
So
That would
Jimmy,
be great.
since the last time you were
That
on
would
the
be
show,
soft
Yes.
because he's a vegetarian.
shut up and let me ask Jimmy a question.
I've been making internet for the last year and a half.
Yes, but you moved from New York.
I did.
You moved to the Bay Area, and now you're popping up more than ever, even than when you lived in New York. So you're doing stuff for AT&T. You're traveling the world. You're hosting events with Mike at FIFA tournaments. So what?
EMLS or like PAX East.
I
you
did
were
PAX
there.
Jimmy's
East.
at everything.
I'm like the Ryan
Being
Seacrest
sports.
of
Yeah.
EA's global FIFA 18 events.
man.
That's the best way to describe it. I do weekly show, Man on the Street for being the street. Or I say be in the street. Let me start that over. Everybody listening? Yeah, cool. Can we
don't
cut?
edit.
I know you don't. That's the best part. Okay, so I do a weekly Man on the Street for Being Sports,
That's
which is a
dope.
lot of fun, and probably pop up there on your internets doing
Okay.
that. Got my own YouTube channel, doing all that stuff
Yeah.
still, and
Let me put you on blast right here. 'cause
I'm-
you said a couple videos ago on your YouTube, you were starting a podcast. Where is it?
good
Yeah.
question.
Where
Yeah,
is
but then I started watching you guys for the first time, and and
you
I was like,
did a
oh man, these guys are really good.
We're
Maybe I
too
shouldn't
good.
even enter into this space.
This guy should have been running for office. He's good.
No, I think that's
Welcome.
Roger Bennett, but that's a different story. Anyway, so I'll say that. Hey, I'm a good friend of the pod. It's fine.
Right.
I'm gonna say that.
We're good enemies of the pod.
Woo!
Yeah.
We've
Now
made
it's
it through
hot.
one
Now it's
question.
hot. Okay. So probably before the next European season starts.
Dope.
Yeah.
All right.
What's it going to be called? Exclusive.
Finish the conversation.
Very nice.
Wow,
Okay.
which is what Christian's trying to do right now.
Yeah.
Where I started.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It'll be not as long or good as these guys.
It would never be called Finish Your Chances because Jimmy never did that. Oh,
It's
yes.
something against Mexico. Come on, what are you talking about?
He did
You
get
just
one
high-fived me
against-
for the goal against
He got that
Mexico.
one, and he's leaning hard on it.
What?
That joint should be made of steel, my
What?
guy.
Jimmy
It's
has-
splintering.
Jimmy has more own goals than actual goals.
That's not true.
I think that is true.
We can look up that.
Give me the
stats.
numbers. You know.
I scored 20 goals in MLS.
Oh,
and
never
had
mind.
10
I didn't think you
assists
had
and
that
had
many.
like
All right.
3 own goals.
That's not bad.
I didn't realize you had 20
The
goals.
best part of that is that he knew all of those stats.
20 goals, 10
Yeah,
assists.
you
Respect.
can't. Don't take that away from him.
Have you ever seen the Jimmy Conrad cards? They always get like the
Oh, we got
funniest
some.
face.
We have some
I
on
did, I
our
sent it to
wall.
you. Yeah.
And I was like, dude, we have him on our wall. I'm like, yo, this guy, they couldn't take one good photo of you?
Nah, it
If
doesn't
you guys
exist.
haven't seen these, I hope there's a graphic you can throw on screen. Every one of them is like one eye open, one eye's closed,
Yeah.
going for a header, and they just cut that face out and put it on a
Or
card.
What do
it's
you
like
mean? I don't know what you're talking
It's
about.
like the face of someone who just got kicked in the groin from behind and didn't know. It's like,
No, I look like Robin Williams is Popeye. You know all those faces?
Okay,
very much so.
If maybe you guys have seen that. Maybe you grew up with that.
Yeah,
we're comedians. We have to watch everything.
Sure.
It's kind of a law.
Yeah, sure.
Good morning,
Maybe,
Vietnam.
maybe not
We saw
Patch
that too.
Adams though. Patch Adams, little trick.
And that poetic something society. I'm not watching.
Oh, that one's good though.
Yeah, it's sappy.
Captain
Oh, no,
Captain.
that's a great.
I ain't trying
That's
to
really
cry,
good.
my guy.
It's a great
Trying to
movie.
smile.
Emotions are not for Alexis.
No, we don't have emotions in Newark, New Jersey, baby, where I was born and raised. You ain't allowed to be. You soft.
Mike LaBelle.
Yes, talk to
Let's
me.
move on to Mike.
Yes, you recently were at PAX East playing in the EMLS Cup.
Playing is strong, but go ahead.
Okay.
He tried to compete. And he,
the blank stare is
I'm
the
sure-
best.
Let him
remember
say-
Mike LaBelle thing was when he did our show, he wrecked us 3-1, right? But when we scored that one, you would have thought we won Champions League. And he was like, wait, no, come on. And we're like,
That was the shared clip.
Yes.
It's them scoring. So you wouldn't even know what happened if you don't watch the whole
no,
video.
we have it up that you're winning. We
You're
have it up
winning.
that
Yeah,
you're
it's there,
winning.
It's clear, but we were very proud of
You
ourselves.
were competing at PAX East.
Competed at PAX East. How did this was the first tournament for MLS players? I mean, I'm sure you got to meet a lot of the other EMLS players. What was that experience like in playing and just being a part of that, the growth of the video game side of soccer in America?
That was a major first step for us in terms of building out this. I guess I don't know how you describe the EMLS with MLS because they have like a really nice like center. Whoop.
Just on mic is probably the easiest way to explain it.
If you can't hear me, you can't hear me. No, it was good. It was the first step where we've seen gaming integrated into sport in the proper way, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think the MLS is doing it better, and I don't want to cause any problems here, but I think they're doing better than some of the other different sports in terms of integrating the gamers and activating them and being involved at the clubs.
Okay, and
Jimmy was there shirtless. If you guys,
Well, I did. It was the final. I was streaking.
It's
fine.
We were selling you, really sexy Jimmy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hardworking,
That's it.
shirtless.
Buddy, we got to get them views.
I would say, though, with regard to EMLS, now, if you people are unfamiliar with how it works in the game format in FIFA, it's like FIFA Ultimate Team, so it's the best of the best players.
Yes.
But for EMLS, you have to have 3 MLS guys
on the squad
in your team.
Yeah.
Now, for me, for it to take to the next level, I feel like you have to play with the guys that are on the team.
We had to use 2 from the club
your
that
club,
you represent.
right.
So that's pretty major
It's good.
change to playing in the
It
tournament.
would just
when
be
you had
kind of
access
cool to
anyone.
see them actually have to break down using the real guys that play on the team.
Yes, yeah.
So you'd have to use,
Like, you
Tyler
mean-
Adams. Not that he wouldn't use him, but
like the
when
full
you have-
11.
Right. and,
Yeah.
I mean, if you have a choice of using Kaku or Messi, you're probably going to use Messi. With all due respect to Kaku, but it would be really cool to see these guys who know the game so intricately to have to use these players and learn how to have success, just like Jesse Marsh would have to do with the Red Bulls.
Right, and also
It's the
just
same
like develop sort of like a game plan around those specific players, like by playing with them and practicing over and over.
And I think you actually get real supporters. I say real is kind of strong, but supporters of New York Red Bulls maybe being more interested in the esports because the real players are being used.
Right. Yeah.
As opposed to like, well, it's a little bit harder for me to engage because I'm watching Messi and Ronaldo in a New York Red Bulls kit, which is cool. It's kind of cool to see those guys in the kit. But
it does
I
sound
feel like
weird to be like, Pogba passes to Tyler Adams.
Yeah, like you want.
I'm sorry, what just happened?
Well, I mean, it's kind of that's what's cool about Ultimate Team is like the Dream 11, right?
Right.
But I think for it to really take that next step, and you can speak to it, having the real players, I think would make a big difference in terms of like having it really bridge the gap between having your supporters come out and support both things.
So you just talked about, I'm going to play devil's advocate. So you just talked about how Ultimate Team is about having variety and customization. So if it was the entire starting 11 from the New York Red Bulls, then you would lose that customization.
Right,
like every club
no,
only
that's
gonna
fair.
have
That's
access.
fair.
On another side note, I'm definitely positive that New York is red this year. Right? What are you saying, guys?
That's without a doubt.
All right, so he got one back.
Not even going to fight about it. Yeah.
Actually, I believe he's got 2
We're up
back.
Well, it's because Patrick Vieira's leaving, right? To go to Nice.
He could care less about these games, apparently.
It's clear. It's clear.
Well, Jesse Mark's going to be in Leipzig. So
And they're like, Patrick, what are we doing? In his head, he's like, Champs-Élysées. There's a loose Rottweiler. Welcome to Miami.
Oh my goodness, you can see the size of this dog.
It legit is the size of a small car.
He should definitely be on a leash.
He should be in a cage. Never mind.
Are we in a bad neighborhood?
Of course
Why
we
is he
are.
allowed to do that?
This is Wynwood. 7 years ago, this is where you went to buy crack. Now this is where you buy bad art made by someone who smokes crack.
This is the most intimidating dog I've seen in 5 years.
Mike, what were the results?
He's so good. Isn't he good?
What were
for 2 hours a day, like every Tuesday on the show.
Talk to me.
How did you feel about the competition at the? You played in the tournament.
Yep.
I know you got to the knockout round.
Yep. I went to the playoffs.
Yeah.
I lost 1-0 to Toronto for the people that didn't see it.
Okay.
In extra time.
Was that the result in the playoff last year against the Red Bulls? Was it 1-0? Was that the aggregate score?
They were up 1 on aggregate, but it wasn't 1-0.
Oh, okay.
I think MLS is red, right? Toronto SC red? Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Not this season, though.
How's
Let's be
Kansas
honest.
City be doing, buddy?
I think top of the Western
Yeah, the
Conference.
top of the Western
Yeah,
Conference.
Last year. Last year.
He's like, no, I mean when they lost.
We haven't got to the playoffs and everything
It's all right.
yet. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Kansas City's actually won
But
several
I
trophies
can't wait for
before.
the playoffs because that's when BWP stops scoring. Is in the
Remember the
playoffs.
viral video celebrating.
How'd you feel about the competition
They
at
have
the
the
tournament?
worst chant in MLS. Throwing that out there to believe we will win, Joe.
Answer Christian's question or he's
Yeah.
going to be upset.
How'd you feel about the competition at the
I
tournament?
thought it was great. I think that we're really on the come up right now in terms of North American esports within the FIFA esports initiative.
Okay.
And the more tournaments we have, because I'm expecting the EMLS to be multiple events in the future as opposed to one event.
Yeah, yeah.
And the more events, more practice, and you get to learn how it is playing in person. So when you go to the major finals, you travel well, basically. And that's
All right.
what we've seen. Germans and French players have been doing amazing when they go to events because they have more practice.
I'm going to jump in here and say that we were in Amsterdam for the global finals for the FIFA 18 console for the
I
FIFA
can see
18
you were,
game.
like, waiting to jump
And I
in.
was. And
Tap me on my shoulder.
a couple of the EMLS guys got into this tournament.
Yeah.
But only one. SKC Alexander, Sporting Kansas City Alexander, is in London for the first FIFA E World Cup.
Just when
It
we
was-
thought you were going to be meaningful to Mike.
I was. All right. But
But
that's
look,
true.
this
Alexander, though.
No,
Shout out.
I know.
But
Yeah,
this is
congrats
a
to him.
come up.
I'm only upset because Jimmy didn't like my fire back or whatever.
Yeah, I just went up
coming
and
at your club. Yeah, you just gotta go.
Let's
back
talk
up.
about this.
I went
Questions
up
for
to-
both of you independently.
Okay.
Where do you see both EMLS and esports in the next 5 years? Because 5 years ago, I was shocked to see that people were showing up to watch other people play video games, and now they're filling out stadiums. So where do you guys think it can go, or it should go, or it will go in 5 years?
Go first.
I'm gonna go with 3 years, and in 3 years it's gonna be
Not the question, but I'll let it go.
it's okay. We're improvising.
Yeah.
In 3 years, it'll be a career, I think, for every player that's a part of the MLS.
All right.
In terms of having a union and actually building it out to be a sport. I know some of you guys don't believe in esports being a sport. Don't hate.
Or some people don't believe in unions. That's-
No,
There's both of those.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
But I'm going to support you here. I think esports is a sport. I think the amount of time and effort that these guys put into their craft is insane.
Yeah.
And more than any time that I did as a professional. Like, I'd go out there, and obviously there's a physical component that's a little bit different, but mentally those guys have to be incredibly drained, putting 8 to 10 to 12 hours in every day, right? It's
Here's what I'm going to say.
It's a skill. There's so much.
It's a
there's so
skill.
much.
I don't know if it's a sport. I mean, other people
Yeah, you
practice.
guys are against it, right?
No,
You're
we're not
No,
against
no.
it at all.
I'm not
No, we
against
love
it.
it.
I
Here's
think
my
you're
thing.
against it being a sport.
No, I don't.
yeah.
I just the moniker that it's a sport. If you practice, it's difficult, and it's an event, and it's a performance, and it should be watched, and it should be followed. I just don't think it's a sport per se. Just like
But it
driving a
depends on
car
how
in
you
a
define
circle
sport.
isn't a sport. No, for me,
I agree with you.
yeah.
Yes. Right, golf, skill game, baseball.
Those are
for me,
skill games.
Skill game.
Yeah.
There's
Okay.
some athleticism in it, but if you can
Sure.
be like as
I
fat
could-
as some of
yeah.
those guys,
All right. I was just about to say it's a great sport because you can be fat. And Jimmy was like, I mean, God forbid do that. I can't call what you do a sport. But chefs work really hard, and they
true.
do the same thing, and they compete.
Cooking sport.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
compete, but it's not a sport per se.
Yeah, okay.
It's a competition. And EMLS is something that I haven't seen the Premier League do this. I haven't seen other leagues do this, where they've really sort of unified some of the great, not only content creators like you, but also people that are heavily skilled like yourself, and made it into something that you can go now watch. You can go to these events and sort of start to follow players, not just on social media, but like as a fan. That's absolutely incredible. So, while, yeah, maybe I don't consider it a sport per se, it definitely belongs in that world.
I think initially we were both like skeptical about like how the entertainment value of watching people play. But I gotta be honest, I watched the EMLS Cup and I watched the event at PAX East, and I'm starting to watch more. And the entertainment value that I'm also seeing is the amazing top level rage quits. And you had a thing recently where you were calling one of the games, and a prominent player rage quit. When it didn't even seem necessary. I don't think he was even losing by much, but he was just frustrated. But seeing how good people are and compete against the best and still get so furious, so public, you see how passionate they are about the game.
And I want to stress with the MLS, this is the first that we've seen that balance of being able to produce content online, but also in person as a spectator sport or as a spectator event. We've never really seen that with FIFA.
Really?
Like if you see the event in Amsterdam that we were just at, it's basically a live broadcast.
Yeah.
But it's not really
Not
something that you're going to necessarily want to be in-house for.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a live broadcast, a live production. Whereas if you saw the MLS, it was packed out. We got people making noise. People were cheering. People were walking through. It has that atmosphere.
Yeah.
And that's one of the first steps to building an actual sport to me.
I learned of it
is
from
that
the
balance.
E-World Cup.
Yeah.
And with that, I forget what it was. It must be now 4 years ago. The French dude wins in like the last second, and he's celebrating, and the camera pans to follow him celebrating, and the place is filled with fans. And that's that moment where I'm like, oh, I've been thinking of this wrong the whole time. I think it's like 6 guys that look like me in their mom's basement, just Dorito dust all over their lips, and then like yelling at each other over like a headset. And I was way wrong. Like, these are people that are heavily skilled at what they do, and they should be followed. I think it's going to absolutely
I
be
think
dope.
to add another layer to this is that from an entertainment perspective, you have an opportunity, especially MLS in particular, to maybe using this as a vehicle, get some trash talk in, because I feel like
We're all for that.
I feel
We
like
agree
sometimes
the same on this. Every
it's so I don't know, cookie cutter sometimes.
Yeah.
We don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, or
It's
the
mass
league,
suburban.
doesn't want
Yeah.
anything to happen.
So
or-
everybody listening,
Everybody gets apple slice or whatever.
be as
orange
mean
slice.
as we are to Mike LaBelle,
Yes.
to each other, and also to Mike LaBelle.
Yeah.
But imagine if you had your esports players. What if your esports players though
That's great.
could go? We know this guy Kid Mamita who won EMLS Cup, and he's fantastic. But if he comes out and says, "Dude, this guy sucks. I don't want any part of him," like it still doesn't feel like you can actually physically hurt that person later, right? That
Yeah,
you could
yeah.
on the field. So I feel like there's a really good opportunity to create some more
Yeah.
animosity. So I put a lot of
Rivalries.
pressure on you right
and,
now.
and us three are from the same era, so we grew up See what I did there?
Yeah.
And then just wanted to make sure you knew.
Oh, I thought you were talking about us three. That's
Yeah,
fine.
us three are from the same era. So I grew up playing video games where you had that atmosphere with somebody sitting next to you. Or even when I first started going to tournaments, a lot of times we shared a screen while we played FIFA. And like the crowd was just behind you and they were talking and they'd go back and forth and they were part of the matches. And I'd love to see that introduced at some capacity into FIFA esports. And that's what we're seeing now where you talk about cookie cutter. It is a production. Yeah. And it's how do you balance a production that's professional and a crowd that you don't know what the hell they're going to do?
Sure.
I think there's a need for unpredictability, right?
Yeah.
And I think that our league misses that a bit. I think we need to promote villains, frankly. We need to create a WWE environment.
The Cooligans are very unpredictable.
We are fully on board.
I think you guys should
people
be at
talking
events.
shit.
Yes,
It's
I'm team you guys.
I will
think
say
you
this,
should be at
Mike.
events.
Everything
as much
feels
as
packaged.
Mike has been pushing for Cooligans to be involved in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he's very
because
supportive,
I think you see there's a somewhat of a benefit to what you're talking about, which is like they ask us to do events sometimes. They're like, all right, well, if someone loses, don't be too mean. And it's like, that's what the fans are thinking. Like, oh, you trash, dog, get off the thing. Like, we're not maybe go that far, but like, there's a degree of fun to if you fucked up, you fucked up. You know what I mean? And if you didn't, you didn't.
And it's like what Christian said. He remembers the rage quit that happened live.
That was
a little bit of drama.
Yeah.
And that got shared on so many different platforms.
Also, is that guy okay?
We need more of that.
I'm worried
if
about
y'all
it.
were at an event, we would have like 5 to 6 at least viral clips of people having bad reactions.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
They like came off the stage pissed.
Yeah.
And you're like, yo, you just need like a slice of pizza. Whatever you're gonna tell a guy. You know, like I can see you like
Oh,
you don't look
100%.
happy right now. You look uncomfortable. Just like when I walk.
Yeah,
over.
we'll be on the sidelines. We'll be color commentary on the sidelines.
I would love to watch that.
Yeah.
So
Well-
I think there's a huge conversation to be had about that.
Sure.
And actually, as soon as
We
put the
saw
mics
at
down, don't walk
halftime you were
away.
picking your nose. Can you tell us what you were digging
Yeah,
for? You know,
yeah,
just like,
yeah.
I can just see y'all making them so mad. But
Exactly.
it would be good for the culture on the competitive side. In my
Well,
opinion.
that's a perfect place to end it. Is props to us. So thank you so much, you guys. I know you guys are super busy. We're super busy. Thank you so much for being a part of our show.
We're gonna be talking to Jimmy on the speaker series. You guys are all right here in Miami, so
Mike will be there as well. It's
That'll
gonna be fun.
My turn to interview them.
That'll be quite exciting. All right, guys. Jimmy Conrad, Mike LaBelle. Make sure you follow them at Jimmy Conrad, at Mike LaBelle, Instagram, everywhere, dude. It's Twitter.
You guys know what's up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you so much for listening to Cooligans. We got a word from our sponsor, SeatGeek. You can't leave us alone.
They can't. They love us too much. SeatGeek, you know SeatGeek, the official ticketing sponsor of Major League Soccer and events and all just soccer, sports, concerts,
everything.
Anything you need to, anything that's entertaining. SeatGeek has the tickets for you.
You just go to that app, download that SeatGeek app, and we told you about this before, but I actually used it once again in this manner. We were out. Right, my wife and I. It's our 12th anniversary recently. Thank you for congratulating me. You did not.
Boo!
He hates love. He hates love. And we went out to eat food. 2 things you hate. And after that, we were like, yo, let's go check out a show. Let's go dance. Let's go do something. And I was like, yo, SeatGeek app knows where I'm at, and it found something nearby. We went. We had a great time. We went home. We have an even better time. And it was all because of the SeatGeek app.
All because of SeatGeek.
And if you download the SeatGeek app, first time you use it, you're going to get $20 because you use the word Cooligans. Because you know us. You're getting money.
Use the promo code Cooligans, $20 off. We got you.
What's better than that?
It's like us handing you $20. Come
on, we're going to show up. We're going to hand you $20, and I'm going to go dance with my wife.
So make sure you go to download the SeatGeek app. Use the promo code Cooligans. $20 off your first order.
Yeah, baby, we're back.
Oh, we're back. Wasn't that fun? Mike LaBelle and Jimmy Conrad.
A little bit of roasting.
Little silly boys.
Silly boys. That's their gang name, which doesn't really bring a lot of fear. But
we had played in the in the game, the celebrity influencer game at the
You're the
Neymar.
only one who put celebrity in this.
That's what they called it.
No, they didn't.
They did it.
The creator game.
So I watched the video. I watched the video of my goal. It's online.
Your own goal?
Yeah, it literally has like 2 million views.
Does it really?
It does. Yeah.
Is it embarrassing?
It's not that bad. I mean, I'm fine with it. But what is embarrassing is that LaBelle and Conrad were totally shitting on me in the broadcast.
Heavy roasting. They were like, because Mike LaBelle, he is the EMLS player for the New York Red Bulls. Both friends of ours.
Both good guys. But Mike LaBelle's been on the show before, and we played at FIFA against him. But as I give up the goal, LaBelle's like, yo, he's an NYCFC and get him off the field. I'm like, yo, bro, you need to do that right now?
Yeah, I know, right? Well, he got a rep for his.
I understand that, but like, yo, if you're an announcer, you have to keep it down the middle, right?
Right, you got to be biased.
You got to be unbiased.
How far down the middle? Like when you redirected the ball into the goal?
It went to the left side of the net more.
Pretty down the middle of the net.
So,
or how you ended up in the net.
Yeah, because I give 100%. I give my entire heart to the game, to the sport, to my team. Okay,
you put it all on the line for the team.
All right, that's more than you can say. Okay,
what are you talking about?
Because you weren't even on the field.
No, I was cheering though. I put my heart into it. You know, the cheerleaders are just as important as the players.
Okay,
especially if you're going on those trips with the Redskins.
So, but that was great. Thank you again for both of them for being on the show and hanging out with us.
That was really cool of them.
So more World Cup. Let's talk about these games, dog, because that's what people are here for.
These World Cup games, dog. They were so fun to watch.
It's a game, but ain't no game.
No.
This ain't a game.
Ain't nobody playing games out here. We're just playing a game.
Okay? The matches, as they say. Obviously, that first game, Russia wins 5-0. We talked about it done. But really, what everybody wanted to talk about
was Uruguay versus Egypt.
Well, no, it was the Mo Salah show. Everybody was like, yo, when is he coming out? It's just like, when you go...
Very rarely is there one camera on someone on the bench at all times.
I mean, and it's usually Ronaldo, right? Like, he's the guy everyone... They want to see all his reactions to anything that's remember during the Euros when he was when he got injured and he had to get out.
He was like coaching.
I was like coaching. Cameras just straight up on him.
No one's on the field. No one cares what's happening on the field. They're all watching. They must have scored because he seems really excited right now. That's kind of the treatment Mohamed Salah. Look, if people are wondering, is Mohamed Salah a world-class player? I think you don't have to wonder that. Is he a top player? By the way he's being treated during this World Cup, you got to say, yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt.
He's getting the treatment of a Messi, of a Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Of a Neymar.
He ended up not playing in this game. I know that the manager was like, we were trying to be cautious. We didn't want him to hurt himself. But before that game, he was like,
we don't mind taking the L to Uruguay.
Yeah, but before the game, he was saying, they asked him, because every question has been, well, how's his shoulder? How's his shoulder? And he said, Mo Salah's fine and all this stuff. So it's like, well, then play him. If clearly he wasn't fine. It's like
they would have played him if he was fine.
Yeah, and Egypt could have really, really used him in this game.
I think Uruguay could have used them. They scored in a header in the last minute. Somebody told me it was an own goal. No.
No, it
was a header. I watched it. Shouts to Uruguay. Again, I don't have anyone really that I'm rooting for, but I'm half Uruguayan. But also reminds me of my father. So,
okay, probably shouldn't have started with this game.
No. It was really weird when the Uruguay team just left at the beginning of the game.
But yeah, surprising that he didn't play. I was watching the game and I'm like, oh, come on, man. Just this is all I want to see. I want to see. Forget all these other dudes. I know, like, yeah, there's a couple. There's Trezeguet and all these guys I recognize from like FIFA.
Yeah,
like 08.
You're there to see two people, Luis Suarez and Mohamed Salah.
Yeah. And Uruguay wins this game, but Egypt has had a couple chances. I think they probably could have won the game.
Nah, it was a Uruguay show for most of it. It was Egypt clearly looks like a team that's really, really good and missing a piece, and that piece is in picture in the whole game. Mohamed Salah, put him in.
Next up, Portugal against Spain. I watched this game with Paul from Husey.
Yeah,
which was cool.
I was supposed to go to that.
Yeah, and you were busy filming the thing.
Yeah, and you also took a picture in front of the place. You're really feeling yourself with these selfies.
I took a pic. It wasn't a selfie.
Well, you took a picture in front of the place.
Someone took a picture of me.
But that wasn't candid. That was planned.
No, it wasn't planned. Eric, I was hanging out with Eric Keating. I did not plan it.
You just randomly looked over your shoulder at all the flags?
Paul, it was halftime. Paul, he's like, go outside. They just put something up outside. And because I had walked there and there was those flags were not there. So Paul says, go outside.
I'm not sure I believe it.
Okay. Well,
you wouldn't lie to me, but
I could care less. You're like, you're the type of person that's like, a dude taking a photo? Yo.
But I mean, like, I don't know, like, oh, here, take this, like, a lifestyle blogger, like photo.
What are
of
you?
me.
What are you? A teenage girl?
Yeah, put a couple filters on this. What are you going to do? Take a couple pictures of you looking at the ground while your legs are crossed, standing up? You know what I mean? You're going to do all these basic ass photos.
We get your opinion on that. Okay, yeah, we
You
get.
just can't try where I'm from.
But taking 8,000 photos of a sandwich.
Oh,
is,
now we're talking. Did you do that? Why didn't you put that up?
It's all nothing basic about that. Now, go follow at Not Alexis, so your mouth can water. Right?
Thank you.
That's all. But
Because it's all selfies of me.
but there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, it's just food. That's
food.
That's very manly.
Very masculine what I'm doing.
Okay, so I have every right to judge other people's Instagram accounts.
I got the most responses I've ever gotten to an Instagram story was when I was making fun of D for doing what you did, which was posing for a basic ass photo. Again, you didn't pose. I get it.
I did not
How
pose.
dare you suggest that you did.
I have no problem saying I did pose.
I know, because you did with the one with the stupid ball. But anyway, long story short, I make fun of her. I'm like, oh, look at me. I'm taking pictures and I'm pretending. And it's, oh, this is what I love, blah, 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 blah. And she just looks at me. She's like, should I be taking 1,000 pictures of a slice of pizza? And it's right when the video stops. When after she says that, it came across like the perfect burn, which I love. I love that. Like, I don't mind when people make fun of me back. I'm like, yes, now we're talking.
Yeah,
and
you love it. So yeah, your Instagram is stupid. Your photos are stupid. Also, your face is stupid. That's why it's not in Instagram.
For some reason, I don't like it as much.
We're roasting, guys.
Come on, kid's a good writer. He goes right to the meat of it. Well, every comment I got, like literally, however many followers I have, I think I got double the responses. People are like, oh, she got you. Pizza. Oh, you're fat. It was good.
Real sharp, real witty. These Instagram comments.
I think it was all you. How many accounts do you have?
I got those burners.
Yeah.
But I watched this game at Theo Pepe in Manhattan. Great time hanging out with a bunch of other Spanish people. And they were rooting for Spain hard. But this game, I mean, initially. The concern was that early penalty. Was it a penalty? Was it not? Whatever. But it was like Diego Costa is. I had tweeted this out. Is the greatest Brazilian to ever play for Spain. I mean, he is. Yeah. He is what a team. He almost looks like he does not fit on the team. Like he looks wildly different than everybody else. His build is just gigantic.
Because he's not Spanish.
He's not. I know, exactly. But it's just
it's kind of like the first time like someone sees the Italian national team from a few years ago and they're like, wait a minute, who's that guy? Who's the tall black guy?
Well, that's the thing. He looks like he can pass for Spanish, right? But he looks like someone messed with like the sliders and create a player. For
like you were bored, you didn't want to create like a normal player.
You know,
what if he looks a little bit like Frankenstein?
Like remember the game Ice Hockey for Nintendo where you can like make the players. You can pick. It was like the skinny player, the skinny hockey player, and then the fat hockey player.
Nope.
And all right. Well, you missed.
I would have picked the fat one.
Yeah. The fat ones were tough and they could push the skinny ones around. Yeah. And that's what Diego Costa looks like. Someone was just like, hey, put the fatter one in and he'll push the other ones around.
Let's see what happens.
But he was great. He was great in this game. Also, Cristiano Ronaldo, almost Brazilian, kind of speaks Portuguese, whatever.
Yeah, close enough.
The Brazilians were great in this game. That's all I'm saying.
And if you speak Portuguese as your first language, you played really, really well.
You are Brazilian.
And let's be honest, Spain played really well. They just didn't finish the game.
Yeah, that goal from Nacho. Oh boy,
monster.
Just incredible.
I actually missed some of the action because I filmed a show. I'm hosting a show for Thrillist, which I'm really excited about. And hopefully you guys all watch it and leave nice comments and share the crap out of it when it comes out. And it should be coming out soon because it's about where to go watch a World Cup game. So like I've only got a couple weeks here, guys.
Yeah, so you have plenty of opportunities to call Alexis fat on another video.
God. Please get in there. Feel free to roast me. It's hilarious. And your boy's going to clap back from a couple burners myself. But we watched this from Centro Español, which is like this kind of like almost like a cultural center / clubhouse. It's got a bar and restaurant inside. It's almost like secretly in there. There's like no sign outside. It's in an old Moose Lodge in Queens.
Okay.
So you really can't tell. It just looks like the floor of a residential building, the first floor of a residential building. You just can't tell there's anything in there. And this place was jammed. I mean, at least 200 people, all wearing Spain colors. One Cuban lady wearing a Portugal jersey, and she didn't know. She was like, oh, I don't know. I just put this on. And we were like, get out of here. And she's like, my dad's here from Cuba. And I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, he flew in just to watch the games with me. I was like, huh. can't really do that. That's not an option.
You were like, show me your papers.
No, but he comes over. He's wearing a suit with a Cuba flag pin. And I was like, oh,
okay.
Somebody's a politician in Cuba. Well, thank you for stealing all the toilet paper from my family, you ass. But I couldn't say all that because I had Thrillers cameras on me and had to be PG-13. But everywhere we went, the good team lost. The team we were there to represent either lost or drew. And this was the first experience. This was the first shoot we had. So to watch as I'm trying to get like funny, quirky interviews with people like, Billy on the street over here.
Yeah.
While Spain is just perpetually letting up goals in the end of the game. There was a lot of attempts. Like we did an outro, like, as you can see here, Spain wins the game. This is a great place and then all of a sudden there's like, behind me. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, one thing I was surprised at in this, and just in general with the World Cup, it'll maybe come up in some of the other games, but VAR, we've dealt with VAR, especially the last couple of weeks. I feel like it's been a nightmare in Major League Soccer. There's just so many controversial calls and so many issues, or VAR not used when it should be used, and all these issues. But I feel like in the World Cup, VAR is like being used. I don't want to say flawlessly, but really well.
It's very sporadic. It's used, not sporadic. It's very seldom it's used.
And that's what I like.
That's me too. Because remember we talked about this, and a lot of people are saying it that people aren't making certain calls because they think the VAR is behind, like or looking over their shoulder.
Yeah.
If you're a ref, here we're seeing that it's like it's being used only when needed. Whereas in MLS, it's probably being used 2 to 3 times a game.
Yes, and what I like what they made it clear to all the referees at the World Cup. They said, especially the linesmen, they told them, do not raise the flag if it's a close call. Mm-hmm. So now that at least we can avoid the problem. I forgot what MLS game we just had that issue with, where the player stopped. And they were like, oh, because he raised the flag. But the ref was like, no, I didn't blow the whistle. So the goal still counts. And when everyone stopped playing defense. So that at least with that, you remove that problem, right. That uncertainty that would cause the players to stop defending.
And the fear that a lot of people have is that VAR is going to stop having something to talk about after the game. It takes away from like sort of the majestic part of the game where it's like, was it this? Was it that? The hand of God, all those things.
Yeah.
Clearly, I think in the World Cup, we're seeing it's being used to the degree where it's like, it's being used where it should have been used like this entire time.
Yeah,
just in those really, really small moments.
It's
and everyone's sort of
it's being used as a tool and not as an
appliance,
or not to be just so completely relied upon. Right. It's not a dependence of the referee. It should be the referee should still be as confident as a referee, and just be like, this is the call I'm making, and this is what I'm sticking with, as opposed to maybe this is the call. Let me see what my homie says in my ear, and you. But you
wish it was just like that.
Yo, what's good?
Yo, fam, you see that? What you think?
Nah. I mean,
come on, son, for real?
Yo, you playing, dog?
All sides?
Yeah.
Man, fuck out of here. I'm going upstairs. Man, bitch, you can't even see. I don't even know why I called you.
So I've just been happy with it, and not even happy with it, but I've been not disappointed by it. So it's been used a couple times, and it's been used quickly. Hasn't really stalled the game too much. So I've been okay with it. So let's talk about some other games. Argentina against Iceland. This game. I mean, like almost any scenario where Argentina plays anybody, especially a small nation like Iceland, they should body them, right? They should embarrass them. Tiki-taka this, tiki-taka that. Like they were like, oh, these Vikings, they can't even catch up to all these tiny little Latinos.
They're just going to come in here. They're going to put themselves in 3-point stances. Okay, they can't catch us. We could chase them around. Also, we got this kid named Messi. I don't know if you heard. He's pretty good.
Yep.
Some would say the greatest. Who do they got? They don't have a Messi son. Okay.
Yeah.
They don't have a Ronaldo son. They have no one whose last name ends in Soninho. Okay.
And that's their biggest flaw.
Yeah.
But Iceland, I mean,
they do what they do.
do what they do. I mean, one of the most organized,
super compact,
focused, defensive teams I've ever seen.
And also, I've always said like, all they do is sit back and park the bus. Watching this, which by the way, we went to the Boca Juniors restaurant for this one. We shot there.
Okay.
and I'm explaining to people like, yo, you see, like the camera guy, none of the people who work on the show know anything about soccer. And they're like, go talk to that guy. And I'm like, the guy who has, La 12 tattooed on his arm? No. Like, yo, that's a straight up gangster. Like, that's a real ass dude. Like, that's not the dude. And I explained, like, you pick these places because they're great to watch a World Cup game because of the atmosphere, which means the better it is an atmosphere to watch a World Cup game, the less hospitable they are to the guy blocking the TV with a microphone and a camera. So, no, I'm not going to go talk to that guy unless he talks to me. Like, no, I'm not doing it. So this place, the energy was not good.
Yeah.
Not good. It was great after the 19th minute, and then it stopped after 4 minutes later. It just went back to very frustrated, people complaining, people kind of getting very angry. One guy had a knife in his hand, and I went up to him, and I was like, he was eating steak.
Oh, I thought he wasn't eating. He's just watching the game with a knife in his hand.
Just a knife in his hand. Everyone's like, I mean, he really is Argentinian. You know what I mean? And I walked up to him, and I was like, hey, man, and I'm speaking Spanish. I was like, yo, can you answer a couple questions about the bar, about the restaurant? Because I was like, maybe they won't be upset because I'm doing a show for the restaurant. The owner told everyone hey, these guys are here to help me and blah, 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 blah. And everyone was clapping. I'm like, all right, cool. Maybe this will be easy. I went up to him, and in Spanish, he said, you put that camera on me and I'll shove this knife up your mother's private parts. And I was just like, thank you, sir. And then everyone was like, the director's wearing whatever, I forget what it's called, like an IDF. It's the thing in his ear.
Yeah.
So he can hear my mic. So he goes, what did he say? And I said it, the direct translation with the C word in it and everything. And the two people, the director and the PA, are both wearing the thing in their ear. They both heard me and they go, and I was like, yeah.
You're going to learn real fast, okay? Yeah. You got to tread quite lightly out here.
Bruh.
This is soccer.
When you see 12, it don't mean cops for these guys.
But in the game, I mean, Iceland probably should have got that first goal. One of the sons, literally every single player's name ends in SON.
In son.
I forgot who took the shot, but one of the sons.
Some son.
Damn son. He took.
No, he's a bench player. Remember, damn son. Get out of here, son.
Yeah. So he took a shot that just went wide. Probably should have scored that goal. But Sergio Aguero gets the first goal, and then after that, even after Argentina scored, you never really felt like Iceland was going to give up another one. And the fact that they scored, that's how they were going to score. Just like a scramble, throw those giant bodies towards the net, and somebody.
Although very composed in front of goal. I forgot the guy who kicked it. Was it Bjornsson?
That made the goal?
Yeah.
Finn Bogason. Finn Bogason. Finn Bogason. Yeah.
We all know him.
Al.
Hey, what up, Al?
Al.
That's a little easier. Like the Brazilian players, put your first name on the back of your jersey, please. Al, the ball's coming at him in a less skilled footballing nation, and this, to some degree, kind of also includes America. You sort of would see someone wail at it.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. And he opened up his hips.
No, Wales is not in the tournament.
No, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. He would have got us at it. He opened his hips, he turned his foot, hit it with the inside of his foot. I mean, it was the whole thing. I was like, all right, that's really composed for a big moment for these players.
Yeah, I guess
they're very well prepared for these games.
Yeah, and that's the Euros clearly set them up and gave them the confidence to play as well as they have. Everyone expected them to lose this game, but not only did they not lose the game, but they looked like they very much could have won it. Argentina, I love, again, there were a lot of people sort of, Messi, they're on Messi's case because he missed the penalty, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
But again, we're going to talk about every international tournament, every Copa America, World Cup. It just Messi is, and Messi can't do it all. And we talk about the comparisons to Messi and Ronaldo. And Ronaldo the luxury that he has is not that he has necessarily better players in Portugal. Yeah. It's just that the style of play is not, the game is not run through Ronaldo. The game is run through Messi. Argentina's strategy is Messi was going back deep, dribbling a lot.
Yeah, I kind of disagree, though, because there's other players. Sergio Aguero, this is his last one.
He scored. I mean, look.
He scored, but why is it all on Messi's shoulder?
But this is the main sort of concern, and why I think it doesn't really work with what they're doing. Angel Di Maria is not. It doesn't seem like the guy that works the best with that trio. Messi, Agüero.
He clearly is a guy who wants to use his pace to get down the side and send it across. That's his skill.
But he did not do it well.
No,
in that game.
but you're also playing against Iceland, the team built to stop you from doing that.
But Di Maria should be better than the Icelandic defenders. He should be able to get by them pretty often in a game. And the only person that was really doing anything as far as like getting through, getting past defenders, was Messi. And a lot of it is because there were 3 players around him every single time he touched the ball.
Yeah.
But as soon as there's 3 players on him, then 2 other people should be open. And it's not that Messi can't get the ball out. It's just like what I don't know. I think they feel too much pressure for being Argentinian, being they want to win one for Messi or what. Again, mentioning about how psychological of a game it is. I'm not saying that Argentina should absolutely just wax Iceland, but
no, they should.
Okay, I think Iceland's good enough from a defensive perspective to
make it difficult.
To make it difficult,
but they're not so good that it should have been 1-1.
It should have been 2-1.
It should have been 3-1, 4-1.
Yes, but Messi buries his penalty, and we're not talking.
I mean, once again,
it's just once again.
This guy,
it's really crazy.
So we had the conversation, which everyone has: is he the greatest of all time? If you believe he's better than Ronaldo, you still can't believe he's the greatest of all time because a guy from his own country not only did what he was able to do, win trophies, but he also won it with the national team, which to some degree in soccer is more important. Messi, once again, I mean, this is either too big of a stage for him, which is hard to believe.
It was a trash penalty kick. It was a trash, like he just put it basically down the middle.
No, he's hit it off slightly to the left.
But they didn't make the goalkeeper, who is a director. He's a
film director.
He has a hot YouTube channel that you should check out.
Yeah. Called YouTube Son.
And didn't make it difficult for him. And look, we've seen David Villa take penalties for NYCFC for the last 4 years now. And how laser targeted to each corner is he? What is the difficulty in just burying it in the corner? Messi can hit the ball from almost anywhere on the pitch and score and
pinpoint it too.
And what is this thing? He's just so much in his head that he's like, I can't go low. I can't. He wants to take the easier shot. He's already had too many difficulties with penalties and in the international stage. He doesn't. For Barcelona, he buries them all the time. He does Panenka, just having a blast.
But that's also a team that's built around his best skills. Argentina
but when he takes penalties for Barcelona, why is he so confident?
Because he's probably so relaxed the rest of the time. He doesn't have to worry about all this stuff.
It's just really surreal.
And also, he's doing this with the greatest coach of all time, Sampaoli, which is very difficult to understand.
Yeah, the greatest coach who draws with Iceland.
Just, again, Messi's fault. It's just not as good a player as Sampaoli is a manager.
But yeah, again, just a surprising result.
By the way, I told someone who was very upset about the draw that Sampaoli's my favorite, and they're like, "Eres de mierda, boludo."
Not a fan of him.
Oh my god, he just went, "Oh, how could you like him? Oh my god, he's an asshole."
That's how they speak English, Argentinians.
Yeah, you got to keep the same cadence. It worked in the joke.
Peru loses to Denmark 1-0.
I mean,
I watched this game. Very much rooting for Peru. Especially with the storyline with Paulo Guerrero. No, Alexis.
Oh, that's right. He was sipping tea.
It was tea.
Mm-hmm.
All right, bro. So tone it down.
You sip tea at a nightclub?
Croatia defeats Nigeria 2-0.
Nigeria just had no answers in the final third.
Really nothing, yeah.
Did you hear about the story that they said that the Nigerian fans are upset that there's a story that supposedly Russia denied Nigerian fans the ability to bring live chickens into the game to watch the game, and Nigerian fans are like, none of us asked for live chickens to come to the game.
It's
weird... like this racist story that's going around, but it's being reported.
My favorite quote unquote racist story or whatever is the South Korean manager because he
Very smart, though.
Somebody got mad at us on Twitter about this.
Yeah?
We look, and we'll talk about it in a second. But the South Korean manager, he was asked.
Because you said the gulliest manager.
Gulliest Manager of the Year award, which is like, it's a Gully thing to do. It's not
pretty Gully.
Yeah, so it's like whatever. But the South Korean manager, he was asked in a press conference about like something about why I think he was switching the jersey numbers during friendlies and leading up into the World Cup.
He put the names on different players' backs, so anyone watching them.
I don't think the name. I don't think you can change the name of the player, but you can put change the number. You can put it. You can assign whatever number.
Doesn't matter. You could do whatever you want in practice.
Oh, okay, I thought it was during the actual game.
I could wear Polanco. You could not during the game.
Oh, okay, during practice.
Training. So if someone's spying on the training,
yes,
they're going to be confused as to what players wear. And the reason he did that is because he doesn't believe, supposedly, that white people or Europeans can tell the difference between Asians.
So yeah, South Korea was playing against Sweden, so he said Europeans can't tell Asians apart by their faces apart. So it's hilarious.
That is,
straight up one of the funniest things I've ever heard.
If you're the manager of South Korea, you deserve an award for that.
So we have an award for you. It's called the Gulliest Manager of the World Cup Award.
And you just won that.
So congratulations.
You won the Gully Mundial. La Copa Gully.
So, but somebody was mad. I don't know. I think he was Swedish. I don't want to speculate or whatever.
Yeah,
but
it was like, I bet you Asians can't tell the difference between us all blonde hair, blue eyed.
He basically said, like, if this was reversed, like, he sort of accused us for like promoting racism, and this manager was being racist.
And we do that in so many other ways, but this wasn't it.
This was just a funny thing that we're sort of highlighting, and also
it's kind of genius.
And also, like, it's not. Like, people not being able to tell people apart is like the most diet racism that I like. Fine, like, who cares? Like, I'll live with. It's like so.
That's better than not being allowed into a school you deserve to be going.
Yes,
into.
All right.
Yeah.
So it's like, not even if you can't tell white people apart, like, well, fine, like, we'll get over it.
Yeah.
You know, that's like it's. I mean, and maybe this is hypocritical, but it sounds like. Like there's so much oppression and racism from minorities that have been disenfranchised.
Yeah.
And then when a white dude from Sweden's like, well, what if they can't tell us apart? Like, bro, I'll drink those white tears right now because they'll be delicious.
Fine.
They
can't tell you apart. Good point.
Big, who cares?
Is your coach doing it? Because they would have gotten Gully Manager of the Year.
Exactly.
Of the World Cup.
It's just such a ridiculous thing to say on such a national, a global stage. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
So let us laugh and go on with watching soccer.
Your concerns are unimportant. I'm so sorry to tell you.
So yeah,
Landon Donovan is doing commercials with the World Cup with a Mexico scarf, and you're worried about blonde hair, blue-eyed people being told apart.
So, so what are we talking about? Oh yeah, what was the next game we should talk about? Germany and Mexico.
All right. Look, we went. Why wouldn't we go to a Mexican restaurant? I don't know. But they went to a place called Lorelei in Manhattan. It's a German bar.
Okay.
And this is where I was supposed to.
I mean, because Mexico was not supposed to win this game.
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, there was some Mexican fans there. We actually interviewed a German guy married to a Mexican woman, and it was hilarious. I hope you see. I hope they put this part in. It's really, really funny.
Can they tell each other apart?
Yeah. Well, the problem was they were both wearing South Korean jerseys, so I was bowing to both of them. I kept bowing. It was very disrespectful. But he was like, he's like, yes, I'm married to a Mexican. And I was like, no. And she comes over, and she's like, hola, ¿cómo estamos? And I'm like, oh my God, this is perfect for the show. But the energy. A German bar full of German people losing, angrily yelling at the screen in German. I made the joke. I'm like, I feel like they're all going to march into Poland. And no one laughed. One guy gave me the finger and said, get your fucking camera out of my face. He was really angry.
Wow.
And then some German lady, cameras were off. Like the cameras are being loaded into the van. And I'm just standing there. I got the microphone, like it clips to my belt, like to the pocket. Yeah. So it just clipped to my pocket. I'm like texting. And she's like, I want you to know I don't want to be in your video. And I'm like, okay. I go back to texting. She's like, I want to make it clear that I don't want to be a part of your video. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, do you see a camera around? And she's like, no, but I want to make it clear. I'm like, lady, nobody wants you in the video. Okay. And she's like, well, I want to make sure
Nobody
I'm
wants
not.
some German loser in the video.
I was like, we got, and I actually said to her, I was like, we got so much video of like Mexicans like being happy that we really don't need you in the video. And she was like very upset. And she's like, you don't have to be rude. I just came to tell you I don't want to be in your video. And I'm like, at this point, I feel like you kind of want to be in the video. And she's like, well, do you need me in the video? And I was like, come on, lady.
That reverse psychology.
Damn, son.
I don't want to be in your movie.
Play hard to get while she's putting on makeup. She's like, I want to be in your movie, but like speaking parts are kind of cool. Like,
but how did this happen?
From watching it, it just seemed like, it seems to me like all the best teams just have too much pressure on them, and everyone else is just playing kind of loosey-goosey.
But Mexico never went into a World Cup with this kind of poise, especially against such a team.
But they were also smart. They didn't bring just their best players. They brought their best players in their prime.
Yeah.
Osario's very, very smart when it comes to this. Former coach in MLS, by the way. Shouts to MLS.
Red Bulls, the coach of
I think he might have been Metro Stars at that time, but yeah. So he came in, he was like, look, let's be smart about this. Let's bring in. But here's the problem everyone has with Osorio is that he messes with the lineup too much. So the next game, it's going to be a completely different 11, and they're going to lose.
I mean, it would be such a shame if they should win this group right now. I mean, this was the toughest game.
Yeah.
But the game in itself was just surreal. You just don't ever really get to see Germany be like on their heels like that,
or frustrated. You don't very rarely in the last few years have you seen Germany absolutely frustrated. Remember, their C squad destroyed Mexico in the Confederations Cup.
Yes. Was it Mexico or Chile in the final?
They played Mexico.
It was Mexico.
Well.
Okay.
Yeah, they destroyed everybody. So their A team should easily do it.
Yeah.
And dude, Mesut Ozil looked lost when he came in. The whole nine.
Well, I mean, props completely to Osorio, Juan Carlos Osorio. He did. I mean, he didn't allow Germany's like the ominous Germans and the
war machine,
the war machine, the Blitzkrieg attack of Germany. He was like, you know what, I'm gonna, and I was listening to his post game conferences, and he really was just like, the plan was as soon as even the draw came out, he's like, he knew who he was gonna bring to the World Cup, and he was like, I'm gonna bring my fastest guys. I don't care. You don't even have to have a damn first touch. If you are fast, we're gonna outrun Germany, and Germany looks slow. They look old.
Boateng looked like he was dragging rocks behind him, strapped to his waist.
Well, by the second half, they were already at the point where they were like, all right, well, we're gonna have to attack at some point. In the second half, they changed, but in like that whole first half, they were just like, how many times was the counterattack was like one defender, two defenders, Hummels and Boateng were like,
Hummels came out and was like, yo, you can't do this. You can't have 8 guys all trying to score.
Yeah.
And leave me, ass out back there. I mean, he might have used different terms, but that's what he said.
Yeah.
Imagine he was like, yo, I'm ass out.
I'm sure he added Shiza in there somehow.
I'm ass out, Shiza.
So, but to see Germany in that position caught on the counterattack so often, this game, I mean, it would have been terrible if Mexico did not win, or even if they drew, because they should have scored like 4, like straight up. Chicharito, the ball that he left to Carlos Vela, if he just touched a little softer, and that ball is a tap in for Carlos Vela.
Yeah, Carlos Vela would have sunk that easily.
Yeah. So just surprising. I was worried about Mexico. I didn't know, seeing the Dos Santos, they didn't start, but seeing the Dos Santos brothers, and like who were very important to Mexico in previous World Cups, and so you just worry about that kind of chemistry. Yeah. But I was impressed with I think it's Edinson Alvarez, I think his name is, for Mexico, the center back. I think he's 20 years old.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, kid,
tall, big dude.
Yeah.
But to see, and like again, when it sucks to constantly compare the U.S. to Mexico, but the big difference in that qualification is that the trust in those young players for Mexico. It's like if the United States had that as well, we would be a part of this tournament.
Wait a minute.
I'm just pointing out that I'm sad. That's all.
Are you saying that to let the youth go out there and to play their game is good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But when it came to U.S. versus France, you were like, no, you defend so you could score the point, blah, 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 blah.
No, they played their kids. They played the kids. I'm saying that was good.
We didn't let our kids actually play. We made them go back and defend.
Nobody made anybody do anything.
Yeah, that was the game plan Sarah Kemp put out. He was like, yo, park the bus.
No, the point I'm making, it's not about, the debate that
You're
we were having.
trusting your children to go out there.
It's not about trust. You said there was no experience. It wasn't worthwhile. That's what I'm disagreeing with. I'm not disagreeing with the fact that they played that way. Like, they played that way and whatever.
And they gained no experience because of it. It was trash.
We're not going to do this again.
But hold on.
Because last week, everybody was like, yo, Alexis is 100% wrong.
No, people were like, all over the place, people were saying I was wrong. I was like, I can't believe I have this much support. Now, granted, that was me dreaming and having a fever dream. But Mexico played to the weakness. They played their strengths against the weaknesses that they could find in Germany. And it looked good. Think of the everyone burning it down if you did this in the U.S. If instead of taking just the 11 best players, you said, hey, we're actually going to take these other different players to play this game because they actually fit in the way we want to sort of attack this big dominant country when it comes to national team games or international games. People be going insane like, oh, you can't put that player in. You gotta where's this player? You gotta have your best 11 there. This was player that. No, Mexico went out and said these are the players we're playing with because they're faster and Germany can't handle that.
Yeah, they did it perfectly. It was just perfect.
It was great.
Germany did not. They had a couple chances here and there. Nothing super dominant. But all the credit to Mexico. And also defensively, they were great. Mexico absolutely deserved to win this game. And I just love Mexico Twitter is just fucking dope, man. So many fun things. I love the thing with the grandmother. It was that viral video. A grandmother, as the players are like in the camera's panning during the national anthem. She's blessing all of them, giving them a little.
She did like 3 for Memo Ochoa.
She did 2 for Memo Ochoa. Yeah. And because her I guess the grandson was like mama, like do the dale dos. Yeah. Which is just so cool.
Did you see the Swedish guy did it for the Sweden team?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, he put it out. He did it for the Sweden. He goes, it worked for Mexico. It was so funny.
That's hilarious. So, but incredible. So, if Mexico doesn't win the group, that will be the disappointment. They have.
Speaking of disappointment, Brazil versus Switzerland, I thought that would have been a drubbing.
Yeah.
I thought Brazil was coming in here to be like, yo, we took a 7-0 L. That's not happening ever again. Other than Neymar's new hair.
How about we just leave with 1 point? Yeah.
Other than Neymar's new hair, that shit ain't not.
And
hitting.
Neymar getting fouled. I think he got fouled 10 times, 11 times, something like that.
I mean, it's smart if you're he just came back from injury.
Yeah, but nobody was carded for all his fouls. Like, Messi, they sort of
spread it around.
They sort of, but they sort of, the refs are supposed to be aware of that, and they were more mindful of that, especially when Messi started becoming Messi, where now they started trading off the fouls, like if this was an NBA game,
right?
And they would start giving yellow cards for the persistent infringement to the last person who fouled them if they saw that they were targeting the player,
right?
And they didn't really the refs didn't handle that well in this game. What else? Belgium, Panama. Belgium just absolutely body Panama.
Why are we talking about it? Good. Shouts to Panama. Beautiful.
That's why we're talking about it, because
nobody wants to
Roman Torres crying during the national anthem. It was a very big deal.
What's his nickname? Mazinger?
I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know.
Somebody said his nickname, and I was like, the what?
I actually don't know.
I know Spanish. I don't even know what the hell that means. But yeah, it was a beautiful entry. England pulling it out in the last second against the powerhouse of Tunisia.
Yeah.
Dude, we filmed this at an English bar. Everyone seemed really excited about it. I'm like, guys, you needed an extra time goal against... or whatever, a stoppage time goal against Tunisia.
But
Tunisia, like a good.
Yeah, a lot of times there's a lot of teams, especially in UEFA, that I'm not super familiar with. Or
right.
Does Tunisia play in Asia or in UEFA? I think it's UEFA, right?
It's
Africa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Africa Cup of Nations they play.
So there's a lot of teams that I'm you never really know what their skill level is.
Right.
You sort of base it on especially African players. Or European players, you see them in a league somewhere.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, okay, I mean, I know the whole team, but I know this dude plays in like Serie A or something like that.
Or he's from Fiorentina.
Yeah.
A lot of those guys I didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't know. And it's just like, you don't know what the skill level they're going to really bring, but they gave England a tough time.
I made a joke because all their last names are Ben, Youssef, Ben, something else.
Yeah.
Like Ben is a part of the last name. And I was like, that's so cool that they let all these guys put their full name on their jersey. And the director was like, we can't use that.
So right now, as we're recording this, Russia and Egypt are at halftime, and it's 0-0. But I just came back from watching. I went to a bar with my Colombian family.
Because you're Colombian.
I'm Colombian. I don't know if you guys know.
Just for the World Cup.
But World Cup for the next about another 27 days.
Like, remember all the time like the Brazilians would play in Turkey?
Yes.
That's you.
I'm the Diego Costa of Colombia.
Yes.
That's what they call me. But Colombia should win this game, but they lost 2-1.
One guy took a nice relaxation break in the beginning of the game. He's like, you know what? I don't want to play this whole game.
Sanchez. I forgot his first name. I'm watching this game, and the fact that in the 3rd minute he is red carded for a what's his name? Carlos Sanchez. So the player takes a shot after like a clearance.
Yeah.
And he puts his arm out to stop the shot. And this is what I'm talking about when
goalkeeping.
When it comes to your nerves and the mentality in the beginning of a World Cup game, the opening game. You just want to get through those first 5 minutes. A couple touches here and there, get a feel for the game, but his mind wasn't even there yet.
No.
And what possessed him to stick his arm out? Just let them score. Japan now officially has become the first Asian nation in a World Cup to defeat a South American team. So, Colombia...
You have brought great dishonor to South America.
Colombia. Parcero, ¿qué pasó?
Yeah, ¿qué pasa, parcero?
Shame. James doesn't start this game. Dealing with an injury, he wasn't gonna. That was the plan. They were like, "Oh, it's Japan's easiest.
We good. Need you."
But just, that was the game. That's it. 87 minutes playing down a man. They ended up scoring
on a free kick. And dude, the balls it took to do this.
Yeah,
he went under the wall. Right, like slotted it right into the corner.
Yeah, Juan Quintero. It was a great goal. Probably it was given. The free kick was given on probably a nothing foul. I don't even understand why it was awarded. But good on them.
Yeah, you got to turn those moments when you're playing.
Yeah, Colombia should. Even with 10, they could have won this game. But
at the very least, taking a point. You want to be able to take a point.
They give up a goal on a set piece, and it's like, what are you gonna do? It's like they have an extra player, so they can put an extra person in the box and get that better opportunity. But Japan, honestly, the last 15 minutes were a different Japan. They looked, they were good on the ball. They were like Spain. They were like, "Yo, Colombia, you're not touching this."
No, also when they brought in Okazaki, that's the dude who scores. I was like, damn, they're going for it.
He's a threat. Yeah. And the Japanese national team, they have Shinji Kagawa from Dortmund, Okazaki, Kaisuke Honda from where he was in Liga MX. He might be coming to MLS.
Yeah, he might be. He's old now, but yeah, I mean, he's still.
Yeah,
still
he played. Where he played? AC Milan, I think.
I think he played for. I know he might have played Inter.
Okay.
I think it was Inter.
So a lot of skill on some of these dudes. So surprising result, but. What are you going to do? Like, just as a Colombian, I'm very disappointed.
How's your family in Colombia feel about this?
You know what? It's just like the reception is not always great over there, so it's hard for me to talk to them.
It's hard to get in contact. Maybe you could call your family in Dominican Republic and they can put you in contact. Maybe
it's like they have those call centers and they connect the.
They just plug the two. Smoking a cigarette. Can I get H14? H14 coming up. How are you, honey?
So a couple more. Yeah, look,
Senegal buzzing right now. They beat Poland.
Yeah, shouts
to Senegal.
So right now, leading the group, as everyone thought, Japan and Senegal.
Think about this. I think. Hold on, Iran is at the top of their group, right?
Yes, Iran is at the top of the group. Yeah,
we posted it on Twitter. I forget what all the people that are on top of their groups. I mean, we could also just look at the groups. It is insane the way this is all played out, but also like this is like the fun part of the World Cup. Like you never know what's going to happen. I never know what's going to happen. You know, who knew it would be Russia, Iran, France, Croatia, Serbia, Sweden, Belgium, what kind of figure, Japan.
Top of the group.
Those are all the tops of their groups, of their respective groups.
So it's been incredible. I mean, this tournament has been just one of the most unpredictable World Cups I've ever seen.
Look, unless it's about somebody passing away, rest in peace, XXXTentacion. If someone you know is talking to you about something that's not soccer and it doesn't involve something very important political or the passing of someone's life, tell them fuck out of here. This World Cup is jammed with stories and excitement and things to watch. And I get that there's a lot of highs and lows, but think about how fun this is as an American fan with no one to root for, to just be able to watch all these other countries suffer. It's quite beautiful.
So it has been quite incredible. So that's it. So we'll do. There's a bunch of stuff happening. Look, we have a bunch of videos on our YouTube channel that are coming out.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff we're talking about right now. We're in talks.
Yeah, we're in talks with doing a bit more
content,
World Cup content. So be on the lookout for that stuff.
And I got a show coming out on Thrillist, which is a really, really big moment for me.
Yep.
You know, we've been trying to get stuff, independently in our careers, and I've heard a lot of no's when it comes to food stuff, and this is a big moment for
it's
me.
Mostly restaurants being like, no more food for you.
Yeah, no, we can't. No one said this was an all-you-can-eat family, but I got a camera, so keep giving me food. This is a really huge moment for my career, and I want this to sort of propel Cooligans even further ahead.
Yeah.
So if you guys are our fans and you see this, feel free to roast me, joke about it all you want, but do me a favor at the very least, like, subscribe, and share when you see it come out. And we're going to have other stuff that we're going to be doing together that's hopefully coming out soon. Do the same thing with that. All of your support is massive for us, and I know we keep asking for it, but it's going to get even more important now.
Exactly. So a couple other things. Make sure you comment on, leave a review on iTunes.
Oh, this is so
very important. We're currently at 156 reviews.
On our way to 200.
On the way to 200. We're just 44 shy.
That's it.
So help us get there. If you haven't reviewed the show, please do that. It'll be very, very helpful to us. And make sure you go to WorldCupComedyTour.com. Again, we're going to be in a bunch of cities. WorldCupComedyTour.com. And we're hanging with Total Soccer Show.
Mike Magid, a lot of local comics, a lot of big names are going to be stopping in. We're going to got merch. It's really, really dope. We just saw the sort of sample of what the scarves are going to look like. We're going to have scarf merch. Dude, it's going to be dope. You're going to want to be a part of this. A lot of giveaways too.
That's right. Also, if you like Andrew Schultz and Akash Singh, we were on Flagrant 2, their podcast. We were kind of promoting the tour a little bit, talking about they're basketball dudes. And we're trying to teach the world about soccer a little bit.
Trying to defend soccer, represent soccer as best you can. I was also on Friends in Sports with Graham Kay and Alex Pavone.
Yeah.
Two very, very funny Canadian comedians living in New York. Absolutely hilarious. Great, great show. Graham called in from a cruise boat that he's on doing comedy. So his career is not going well, but the podcast is a lot of fun. And we talked a lot about, just corruption and stuff. It's dope.
Okay, so you guys are the absolute best. There's so many things happening during this World Cup. So please stay on board with us. We appreciate you. We love you.
I love you.
Te amo.
Please love me back.
He's just hoping his dad responds.
Not going to say anything. Wow, I was quiet for once. Guys, my name is Alexis Guerrero.
My name is Christian Polanco.
And together in Fatherless, we are
the Cooligans!
You think you'll call?